who are about to die salute you.
I have my glitter dice. I'm so excited to use my glitter dice. Josh and Jenny got
Mirra
me.
again.
Glitter, glitter, perfect for Mirra.
Can't see Mirra, but
what? You cannot.
no, it's just spinning.
I can.
Maybe it's just me. That's fine. That's all right.
Get out your eye. Poof.
There we were, us against the world.
Us against Mikey, you mean?
Yeah. You know, to someone, Mikey is the world, right?
Aww.
I sure hope so.
Mikey,
I don't think he heard you.
I
heard her call me. I'm sorry, what?
I finished Terra Gloria.
Oh, God.
There's another laboratory at the end, which has homunculi.
Danger.
I got attacked by a Venomirth in a Lif, the evolved form.
But did you beat him?
Yeah. I was
There
on
you
the
go.
priest, just Emmy that shit.
I am so sad.
Why?
The shirt got dyed. Did you see the color? It's not all pink anymore. It, like,
It's blue
has
pink.
dye.
Little purple. It's okay.
I guess I washed it with a new black shirt. That's my bad. That's my bad.
And the color blood. Oh.
Well, this is like my only colored shirt right now. So, I'm like, why am I just gonna... I can't just only wash one pink shirt. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it in with my other shirts.
Throw it in with your white stuff, and then you can get more pink shirts out.
I don't have white stuff, okay?
No, you just wash it cold. Don't wash it hot or cold, because the colors bleed at first.
Yep.
If you wash it cold,
Josh.
Yes.
Can I use my inspiration to say we had a short rest?
No.
Hey, what?
We're not even at the carriage yet, so no.
I'm gonna need a recap. It's been a few weeks.
Said no.
I said.
Do we need a quick recap of the events?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, we fought Mikey. Mikey lost. We won, and then we stayed still. Lilith is basically dead.
Yeah, thanks.
Shrike avoided being hit by a flying Lilith.
Barely.
For all intents and purposes, it's a lot harder to die in my campaign. It's not impossible, but it is much more difficult. But what would normally be, and I think I'm going to change the full-out death rule, that if you take WHP in one hit, that you just die. I think if you take WHP in one hit, you go into a coma, as if you'd gotten... Did you not finish all your pizza? You did not? Oh my god.
Pizza. Pizza.
I usually eat 4 slices each, because they're little tiny ones, but she only ate 2 or 4. Because
they're big.
Jenny.
Because they're like floofy pizzas.
Do any of us have less than 30 HP?
All of us?
Like in
I
total?
I should rephrase it. Max HP.
Max?
Are any of us less than 30?
Not currently, no. 33.
My max HP is 30. I could effectively, if I rolled perfectly, I could kill myself with a Hellish Rebuke.
That's pretty great.
Mine is... My max is 18.
What?
Hold on.
You got level up prior to...
I am level 3.
Did you go...
Let me double check.
Yeah, go... Otherwise, I'm gonna do it for you. You go check your HP right now, mister.
They changed things around. Like, my video monitor used to be here, and now it's here.
I can tell it's
me off a little bit.
different.
is it again, Robyn?
Okay, hit manage at the
Yep.
top middle, manage character,
Yep.
go and click then on manage HP on the right, and then total
Yep.
possible, the third one down.
What was that saying? Oh, yes.
It'll be level
Ah.
4.
What does it say?
27.
Nice.
Much better. But yeah, we were in a super big fight. Most of us are mostly dead. The
Who's the least dead
hostages are
right
still
now?
with us, unconscious. Lilith is unconscious. Most of us have 1 to 2 levels of exhaustion. Most of us that are still conscious have 1
Pretty
to 2
sure
levels
all of
of
us have at
exhaustion.
least 1 level exhaustion.
Yeah.
So let me go over that really quick, just for clarity's sake before we get started. So there's conscious, and then anytime you hit 0 HP, you get a point of exhaustion because you get quote unquote air quotes a wound. Your body is slowly degrading from hitting 0 HP. You can still retain consciousness though, and pull yourself together and keep on fighting, or somebody else can help you. As you get more points of exhaustion, though, it becomes harder and harder to remain conscious. So that first exhaustion, it should be very easy to remain conscious. But as you get like 2, 3, 4 points of exhaustion, the DC to stay conscious goes up. And at any point you fail your 3 rolls to stay conscious, you go unconscious, which is basically, in regular form, it would be dying, but here you just pass out for an indefinite amount of time. Now, what I was going to talk about is, I wanted to go over with you, the current rule from Raw is that if you take double your HP in 1 attack, you die. You're dead. If it's okay by you guys, I'd rather just have it that you go unconscious for an indefinite amount of time, like the other thing.
Hold up. Are you saying it's even harder for me to die?
I mean...
Do you want to lose your character forever?
No. It's me being completely sarcastic. I'm 100% to die less. Or die...
Well, what changes is instead of dying from double damage, which is totally plausible in a normal circumstance, like, somebody can crit and do double your HP depending on what weapon they're swinging at you. But it would be more along the lines of like 5 times, whereas like if a giant fucking boulder landed on you, obviously you would be dead.
Yeah.
Fair.
If you fell off a cliff to your death and had no means to slow or prevent the fall damage, you would obviously die.
I mean, realistically, that's... I'm down, because I have some really good spells, and I would like to coma people.
Well, the main thing is that I want the
Mirra has some thoughts about that.
I want to have the flavor of realism, but not go too far into it, because this is fantasy. But at the same time, it's just like, it's a heroic campaign, so I want to bend the rules a little bit.
I mean,
That's
it is.
You know what? I think we should raise the stakes.
Lilith, you're like dead right now. You would be dead like twice over.
Basically, what I'm aiming for is if a monster picks your unconscious body up and football spikes you into the ground, it's not immediate cause for, well, you're dead.
Well, good. That's because that's what happened to Lilith. So you know.
That's the point I'm trying to make. But had the monster thrown Lilith off the cliff.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't fight near a cliff.
There's nothing narrative-wise.
We did. We are right next to the cliff.
We're at the bottom of a cliff.
That's It's true.
At the cliff edge.
You're at the bottom of the cliff that leads up to Valona, but there's a cliff that leads to the water.
Oh,
near
cool.
you guys.
Shouldn't have told Mikey that.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna say we're near the docks. I
Yes,
thought there
there's
was like another.
But I just wanted to go over
To
that
be
really
fair,
quick.
if that were the case, the enemy would probably know that.
Really.
Oh, excuse me.
Real perception, Mikey.
But I just wanted to make sure you guys were okay with that. 'Cause
Understood and agreed.
The thing is as I DM more and more and run into scenarios that I normally don't run into, I
Sorry.
start asking tough questions and just trying to make the game better for you guys, ultimately. But before I make changes, I want to make sure that they're okay with the people actually playing the game. It's like patch notes, but a yes or no at the end.
You gotta accept the download first of the patch note.
But in any case, so yes, you guys were trying to chill, and then all hell broke loose, and you guys made the best of it that you could, given the circumstances, which are still not that great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you ran into a guy who basically offered this boy really bad candy. He turned into a monster.
Wow.
And right before he did, Shrike blew a hole in him.
He was hurting my friends, and he threw,
Yeah.
threw Lilith at me, and I didn't really want to deal with Lilith
That was
that
after.
time.
You blew a hole in him before.
No, he saw into the future. He knew what was gonna happen.
I knew what was coming.
He has really good foresight. That guy.
But in the end, you guys did prevail. But you guys are in a terrible spot right now. So I will let you guys start off as huddled by the cliff wall.
So Brea and the other two were coming back from fighting around us, correct?
Are you talking about the kind of lizard chick necromancer?
Yes.
And, yeah.
I don't know where. Oh, there it is. Just gonna say I don't know where my notebook is, but I see it across the room. It's so far away. I want to hobble over to them and see if any of them are looking like, oh my god, they're about to die. I have a handful of healing left. Just a handful. That's all I got left for the entire day. That's all I got.
Has some wounds. But overall, he seems fine. He's basically seems a little bit on edge, and he is transformed. Right now, he has the appearance of a Black Panther in his leather armor and whatnot.
Kitty.
But the chick in the shamanistic attire with like bones and feathers and I guess what you could say hide or rags. You're not really sure. And she has like kind of scales. Just scales here and there. It's not like all scales, but scales you would see on a lizard. Here and there in her arms and legs. She looks perfectly fine. She doesn't seem to have a scratch on her.
It must be nice.
Thank you so much for holding them back.
But the biggest thing was that giant crystal that I'm letting somebody else take because Aurora took it and Aurora's not going to be here. So somebody else please take it.
Can Shrike take it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please make a charisma check.
It's a charisma check or save?
Check.
How's that one?
I really wanted to try and get the notebook, but it's so far away.
Oh, that is not good. 9?
Okay. Really?
Nothing seems to particularly happen when you take this large gray crystal.
this count as an ability check?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna use my Pact of the Talisman. That enables me to roll a D. It allows me to roll a D4, potentially turning, and add it to my roll. I get that twice per long rest. So it's a 9 plus D4. So 12?
It does make a difference, but the crystal doesn't change. You feel like the crystal doesn't resist your touch as much. That's about as best as I could describe it.
Okay.
Now, I just want to make sure you realize this, but so this thing is probably about the size of maybe a very large flashlight, but it's just this giant gray chunk of crystal. As far as what you saw the boy holding versus this, it's immensely larger and like the color of ash.
I accept.
Whereas the one the boy had was very tiny and unfathomably black.
You know, sometimes size matters. And I am aware I just said that out loud.
Okay.
So basically, your current surroundings are a giant, massive pillar of flame, what used to be the Grill Mansion, literally lighting up the night. It's so much fire that it's almost as if it was daylight from the amount of light it's producing. And there's still a lot of chaos going on as far as people fighting. You can actually still hear that giant monster that you first ran into. It looks like it's still tussling with the Lady Knight that
Oh
you
no.
ran into.
So we're ignoring the fighting, going to the carriage, and leaving, yes?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Cool.
So they're looking fine.
To also note, currently no one is carrying a hostage whatsoever. They're all kind of like...
Yeah, well, the problem is I have 2 exhaustion points, so I'm already moving half speed, so we need to... And now we have to carry Lilith. So we need to find some way to get all the hostages and Lilith and get to the carriage. I mean, I can try and take Lilith, but I'm already moving half speed, and that'll have me again.
It is only halved again if the target is unwilling.
Ah, okay.
They can't be unwilling when they're unconscious.
Implied consent, I think, is
I
the
can
word
still
we're
stab
looking
you.
for.
I could so see Lilith like, who are you? No.
Like stabbing in your sleep and stuff, like...
God, I don't recognize his hands.
Aww.
What
Oh.
if I could train myself to do that?
Hey, guys here.
Hello!
Thanks for joining us again.
Okay, I will attempt to carry Lilith and ask for assistance.
Right.
Okay, we definitely need to get to the carriage now. We...
So, still 4 hostages left.
Yes!
And Gabriel.
Yeah.
Shrike will carry someone. Aurora's not here to say otherwise. She'll carry someone.
She'll carry 2. That's right.
Mirra can carry
Well,
at least one. Hello.
Right now you
Only
have 6 people to carry.
Okay.
Technically, Freya could carry 2 as well, I suppose.
Okay, so that's
Freya,
2
yeah.
for Aurora. 1 for me, 1 for Mirra.
You guys
That's
hear
6.
an astounding explosion come from the area where the knight was fighting.
Which one are we
Okay.
killing?
Okay, we definitely have...
just enough to like shake your armor.
Oh no. We need to go now.
Yeah, we're just gonna take who we got and leave. If there's anybody
No,
on the ground,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And
Bray
Mirra,
is strong, and we got the 2 helpers.
So there's 4
You're
hostages
starting to notice
and
some-
Gabriel, right? Then Lilith.
Shit, and Gabriel and Lilith. But if I have 1, Shrike has 1, Vora has 2, Brea has 2, that's the 6. And I mean, we still got the 2 other people
Done.
that are helping. Or they
Oh,
could
yeah.
be our.
Seta and the lady that you don't know her name.
Yeah.
She's now Lady Nameless, and I fucked Cthulhu.
Will you stop? You aren't a bard.
It's Pedi's fault.
Oh, Petey's fault.
Pedi.
He started singing it earlier.
What?
Oh, I thought I hooked you up.
That's what you were singing?
You didn't know?
Yeah. I was bored and kind of.
No, it's gonna be my head.
Found
Okay.
an Necronomicon.
Take a look.
Take a look.
I see.
Okay, so we're carrying everyone, and Seta and Miss Scale Lady, I guess will be on watch, on lookout while we try and limp.
Mirra,
Yes.
I just want to let you know that some of the cultist mooks are kind of sort of starting to pop up here and there down the road. It's not a whole lot, but you're just seeing that they're kind of wandering around.
Seta,
Well, you know what's about to start happening? is
Seta,
Shrike is
Miss
about to
Lady,
start blasting first.
keep an eye. There's cultists up ahead. Please don't blast while you're carrying someone. It's not a good idea.
Wait, who do I have? Do I have a hostage, or do I have somebody important?
I mean, that's up to you, I
Holy
suppose.
crap.
How
I would assume that they were all important.
Wow,
I
are
don't know,
you
boss.
saying? Are you gonna tell Katina that you think that Suba is not important because she will beat your ass?
Fighting
Okay. Them
I
are
don't know
is
that-
fighting words.
I only actually know Lilith and Gabriel, so realistically, to Shrike, none of them are important.
That is
Except
true.
Lilith and Gabriel.
That's true.
As far as Shrike is concerned.
Am
because
I
it's
important,
4 people
Shrike?
we saved.
Am I?
You're
I've
unconscious.
you.
You have fought with me, and
I've
so
got
I
you.
wouldn't necessarily say important, but you're not unimportant.
You're unconscious.
Yeah, and
Rude.
you know, you don't understand what I'm saying anyway.
Seta, eyes up. Look.
Oh, I see them. Question is, what are we gonna do about it? They're to our front, they're to our back. That, whatever that was that the knight is fighting, our home is on fire, like, we're running out of options here.
We just keep moving forward at this point.
We kind of have to. I mean,
Then all of a sudden, the walls that were kind of, I wouldn't say containing the combat that was going on, but more or less blocking the sight of it, just explodes as that giant creature comes charging down towards you guys. Not all the way, but just bursts forth and just trots along a little bit as the Lady Knight is flying up in the air on the griffin.
I vote we push Guy in front. He says he'd like to help. We could just push Guy.
Which guy is that guy?
No, Guy. Guy is that guy. We break the fourth wall, we take Guy, and we put him in front of the charging beast.
I'm gonna break the fourth wall even further and say we picked the Hulk from the MCU, and therefore we win.
Okay, I try and limp over to the side and like, so sort of. I want to stay out of the way of the giant beastie. Is my goal. That's my
Dramatic
goal.
dark violin. We're getting fucked.
It's not the one I wanted to play, but close enough. Hang on.
But stop.
This would be
Watch your back.
Pretty much. You're unconscious. Is that what you're
I'm in your
mumbling in
head.
your sleep? You're mumbling that in my ear? Okay, Lilith. Whatever you say. Just go back to sleep now, dear.
Can't wait till I have my computer, and this will be so much easier.
It'll come eventually.
I know, just impatient. Here we go. So right now, as of this moment, you had the giant creature standing in between you and the mansion. The knight up in the air on the griffin kind of hovering. And then it slowly turns its attention to you guys.
Why? Why?
Then, like, if it wasn't bad
Why?
enough, you all hear this, like, soul-piercingly, or soul-rendingly piercing screech come from the sky. And through the clouds comes this almost demon-looking pterodactyl thing as it starts trying to attack the knight on the griffin. And she starts getting wrapped up in just trying to not get hit because it moves incredibly quick.
Before we go any further, do I have my ring charge back?
You do not.
We rolled that last
You
time.
all do get your inspiration. That's what I was trying to remember this whole time. I keep getting distracted. You all do get your inspiration back, though.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know we rolled the ring last time, but it's at random. Like, it's not comes back at, like, dawn or something. It's at
Right.
random.
Well,
Anyway.
I wouldn't say it's at random. It's just for your purposes it's at random until you figure out what charges it.
I mean, that's fair. Random enough.
In any case,
Well, so the pterodactyl's attacking Miss Kaylee.
even
and
with
her
your high
griffin.
perception, it was moving so quick that that's your best description. Everyone else, all they saw was just a blur.
I know
What?
it's Mikey.
So the
It's
night
Mikey.
lady, the night lady is, as of this point, busy.
And now we
As
have
that-
to deal with the giant monster again. Can we just
Does
like?
our new friend look beat up at all?
The monster?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks pretty worse for wear, actually. I wouldn't say he's anything like missing an arm or anything like that, but he's got some cuts and some bleeding going on.
I use my inspiration to get my spell slots back. Is that a possible thing?
No. Well, these inspirations are just re-rolls.
That's fair.
The plot point, like what Mirra used, I award those depending on the situation, but no one has one at this moment.
Can I earn one for that poem I made?
Well, you could have, but you already had one when you did it, so no.
I think we need to, like, we're not in a position to fight.
We can't climb up the cliff. We can't fight. We can't make it to the carriage.
This black-looking fog starts to form on top of the creature, and your masked friend, Katopus, starts to appear standing on top of this creature as it's walking towards you. He just has his arms crossed as he's standing on it as it walks your way.
Who is this guy?
That's
the masked guy at the top of the building.
the crazy
Evil rant guy.
evil. Yeah. The one that's gonna turn us into loots.
Oh! Okay, got you. Loot.
That's
partner.
This was like a legit conversation between him and the bad guy. Who are you again?
I'm the one that was gonna turn your
100%.
internal organs
I'm
into a
gonna
lute.
turn you into a banjo. Oh, that guy.
Right, you're banjo boy. Okay. Is this like your dog? Are you going out for a walk or something?
Shrike, don't antagonize him.
What else are we gonna do?
Oh, that's just making things so much worse. Like, so much worse.
There's better for right now? We're
Not
what, 4.5?
antagonizing the man that wants to turn me into a lute. I want to be a lute.
Fair. We're what, like 4.5 men? Slash women slash others slash whatever. I don't think we can just walk to the carriage. Don't think he's gonna allow it.
We could. Oh my god. Sorry, we could try. We could,
Mirra,
make a pulley system
Mirra,
and
read your chat.
pull them up the cliff.
Pull them up the cliff. That's a long way down and a long way up.
Oh,
Type it, please.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
What are the chances, the banjo boy, turning us into loot, that you could just let us walk away? Is this potentially something we could discuss?
He did once.
Yeah, he did. And we were like, and then this happened.
But would he do it again? Is this a thing that we could potentially do?
Fuck.
I feel bad that Lilith's unconscious. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm getting there, I promise.
Do not feel bad at all. I like it here, I'm safe.
I'm glad
You're
that you
a city
feel
duck.
safe.
You feel safe in
now.
Mirra's arms? You should
Sure.
not feel safe in Mirra's arms. Just saying. She's not very, like, nursely. She's gonna shove a
Love
cookie down his
is just
throat.
daydreaming as far as you know. Like he's just dreaming.
Oh god, I can't even right now, like...
Well, I'm gonna have to flip over the hourglass.
Fudge! Okay, can I talk with people, or do I have to make this decision?
So you do.
No! Oh no!
And make sure you type it in chat.
Oh boy! And nobody else knows what's going on!
No, they don't! Okay. I'm not sure. The first you
got
are
about
in
30
danger.
seconds.
Okay, fine, I sent it. The first thing I thought of was the first person that the first name I listed, but thinking about it, I think this is who I would think of. Because we were just talking about the mansion. So I think this would be the first thing I would think of.
Hang on 1 second here.
All of a sudden, Guy appears.
I hope you said Paylor.
No, I did not.
Well, according to the rule set that I gave her, that wouldn't count.
Dang it. That would have been funny.
Montezuma
That and the
popped up.
fact that
Montezuma, yeah.
that and the fact that everybody's pretty sure the gods
are gone for whatever reason.
Shrike is right here. Shrike also has an ego.
Okay. So, the giant creature starts getting closer and closer, and there's literally nowhere to go. Like, there's cultists behind you, you guys are worn out, you got a cliff to your left and right, and ahead of you is this giant creature and this individual that is probably immensely stronger than you guys.
Wow, I mean...
And then suddenly, everybody's vision kind of distorts. Like TV static. And Katopus opens his mouth. Well, he has a mouth, but he starts to speak. Any last words? You pests. When all of a sudden you hear another voice from behind you. Funny. I could ask you the same thing. And all of a sudden this large object comes flying forward and embeds itself in the forehead of this creature. And there's just a moment of pause till you realize it's a humongous axe. And the creature just buckles and falls to the ground as Katopus loses his balance and falls off the side.
Sit down, son!
But, Shrike, that axe got incredibly close to you. You felt the wind on that one.
Crazy.
Oh no!
Anybody that turns around,
Yeah.
you just see Don Dozagala
I hope I made the
standing
right choice
behind you.
on this.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on. But I would like to think that my mansion is not on fire.
Well, here's the thing. You know, it's funny you're here. I was just thinking about you, actually. I'm sorry.
You hear Katopus. Son of a bitch! You'll pay for that! Don goes, looks around a little bit and sees everything that's kind of going on. The people who are unconscious, including Gabriel. I'm assuming you all are leaving?
I mean,
We're
we weren't
trying
exactly
to get to
staying.
the city so we can get them all safe behind the walls.
That, Yakuza. You will accompany them. I have business to take care of. And Seta nods and bows. Yes, father.
Damn, it's a family
You
affair.
see Don start to flex, and his muzzles start to bulge, and his leather tunic starts to stretch and rip, and fur starts to cover his body. This almost golden orange coat and a long black striped tail. What one of you would probably identify as a tiger. Leave now.
Come on. And I trying to get to that carriage. We will get these guys inside the city.
And almost
We'll
a
make it
blink, he
eventually.
lunges forward and grabs his axe. And you see Katopus he just pauses for a second as they stare at each other for the amount of distance that Doza just covered. And Doza immediately makes a swing, which Katopus barely dodges. It literally clips off a section of his mask. And you see Katopus just try and run for it. Seta says,
Run away.
you heard the man. We need to leave. now.
You don't need to
This-
tell me 3 times.
But we. Okay. Okay.
The large body of the creature just starts to fade into little teeny tiny ashes.
Oh, good.
Thanos snap style.
Sit down, son.
I would like to hobble along. Try and get to the carriage to get all these unconscious people behind the walls.
I will continue along.
I will notify Shrike, because he's probably the one in the best shape to do so. Shrike, there's a cultist coming up at you guys.
Oh boy! This is gonna be fun. Just gonna straight up Eldritch Blast.
He's dead. Like, I'm not even gonna make you roll against these guys anymore.
Fantastic.
'Cause you
Like I
rolled
said,
a
at a certain point, your guys' level, if it's over a certain point, then there's certain creatures in the game that just die. They become minions.
Man,
but-
that-
I have become Death, destroyer of the cult.
But as a couple of the cultists run up, Shrike manages to pick them off as you go. And then you see the griffin and whatever the hell that thing is, they're like fighting in the air. They're like staying in the air, but they're like grappling each other and biting and everything. But the Lady Knight's not on the griffin anymore. And then they disappear up into the clouds of smoke again.
Well, now I'm worried for Miss Lady. Do I have to like go all the way back there and see if she like fell off the griffin? This is not okay.
You guys start running up to the carriage, though. You see that there's a bunch of people at the carriage. One of them is Jarvan, you know them, but the other two you don't really recognize. Pedi, would you like to introduce your character?
You see, next to the carriage, a 6-foot steel woman, pretty much. And to her side, you see a 3'5" gnomish gentleman wearing cadet steel armor and just a poof of red hair on top of his head, bunch of satchels, and a long sword on his back. Just grinning, kind of jittery, but they're waiting.
And there's another person there. Mikey, would you like to introduce your character?
You're giving me all the anxiety right now, Mikey. Get in here. Just tell us already.
Next to that character, you actually meet a character of similar stature, very short, with blonde hair, carrying a book on her side, and on her shoulder is a blue, sparkly-looking fairy. Not sporting the traditional cadet uniform, but something along the lines, and at least having the badge to show that she's with the form.
You would recognize these individuals as people who took the more scholarly pursuits. So these are the people that become like Valona merchants, people who become like Valona educators, Valona. I mean, more or less, they're scholars. But they back up Valona by either gaining, teaching, or expanding Valona's intelligence. Their knowledge, if you will.
So they're smarty pants. They're nerds.
Yes.
Do they? Okay, so
And you recognize her from your classes. She was a part of your graduating class.
sweet.
All these people.
Is it our...
Well, I would say Mirra does. No one else is really here to attest to that. But the thing that you notice the most about her is that while she is about the same height as the gnome, maybe even shorter, she sports very elven features.
Okay, so we hobble up. I don't know if you could hear that. You're on the second floor. What are you gonna do? Jump out the window? So I go up. He tries so hard.
No context.
He's
at all.
sorry.
Stop talking to your nephew that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know those child cages that you can attach to your window and then they could just be like sticking out the window? Yeah, it's gotta give him some pressure. So we go up. I've seen you at the academy before, right? To the lady.
Yes, you have, but we have no time to talk. We have to get these people out of here. What are you doing?
Well, this is our carriage. So
Then let's go. Where are the rest of the wounded? Where do you need me to take them?
You see them, they're pretty awfully battered. One of them incredibly more so. Human with dark brown hair kind of slunched over Mirra's shoulder.
Mirra looks over to Shrike, kind of questioningly, and shrugging my shoulders.
Thing that Mirra immediately notices, though, is the horses are gone.
Have you seen our horses?
There were
You
no
had one.
horses. There was no horses here when you walked up.
Where are Sunny and Cher? They're best friends!
What about the horse Brea bought for her family?
Right? Where are lizards also named Sunny and Cher? They're
No,
also best friends!
I wouldn't imagine they'd live long in this environment.
Oh no!
And
Wow.
neither would we.
Ouch.
Unfortunately,
Rude.
they were at the Gabriel Mansion stables.
No! Sunny and Cher!
Not
The
sure.
horses.
Not Cher!
Your horses, the pony, the lizards. Unfortunately, all of that.
You just gotta keep walking.
I was nice enough to let you put all the stuff you won in the bank, but unfortunately,
True.
those are gone.
But I painted the carriage. It
Fine,
looks
we're just gonna
awful,
So
but
please
it looks
walk,
great
fine.
for being
So
awful.
they no longer have a carriage to take these people to?
We don't
They
have
have a
horses for the
carriage.
carriage.
They just don't have anything to pull it. Maybe?
Oh no. Do you are there stables around here? Anyone know if we could buy some horses?
Everything's on fire!
Well, yeah, therefore we
Dude,
should
what
rescue
if
the
we
horses.
What if we pull the carriage?
I don't know. Maybe Lady Vi can? And I'm pointing to the steel lady next to me.
Lady Vi.
Lady Vi. She's number 5.
Oh, that's cute.
6. Can't count.
What do you mean you can't count?
No, that was just me. That was my stupidity.
Oh, I thought the gnome was saying that. I was like, what?
Miss Lady Vi, do you think? No, sadly, no direction is downhill, Mr. Guy. Miss Lady Vi, do you think if we at least put the wounded in there, and then we could help push?
Oh. Well, she can't speak. I haven't given her that capability yet.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna
Right,
hit her
you're
in the
just gonna
leg.
be
Say
like,
hi.
That sounds a little bit on the rude side.
Assuming
see.
that Lady Vi would respond with, like, waving her
Yeah,
hand.
a wave. You see a very mechanical wave.
I mean, I'd like to take the carriage, but maybe we should just walk.
If we have nothing to push the carriage, no. Not
Feel
unless we-
free to either, if you'd like, I can do intelligence checks, or feel free to just use your brain as you see fit.
I will
Because
do an
your character
intelligence check.
both your characters are very intelligent, so feel free to pitch in.
Finally!
Alright,
Finally,
I'm gonna roll.
intelligence
We're
character.
gonna roll. I got.
I rolled a
finally.
19.
Oh, a save or is it a check?
It's just
Oh.
a check.
It's
No
a check.
save.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Then it's just a 14 then.
Is that
I got a
all of us?
15.
But both of you together, I mean, why pull the carriage when you can push the carriage?
Guy says we should just hook up a lot of the cultists because we could just.
Reason being is, as Mirra was saying, the current area you're at is up, and so as you leave this area, it goes downhill. So technically, you just need somebody to steer once you get it going.
Okay,
Okay. Then
come to a decision then. I guess we could try to push it with
So,
all the injured inside.
The new question would be, how do you steer it without horses?
Can Lady Vi help steer? And Aurora, since you two are the biggest ones, and then
if I can heal any of the wounded, would they be able to help?
they're unconscious, so no. They need sleep.
What about your friend, Lilith?
My friend here has a concussion. Her pupils are different sizes. I'm pretty sure that means she needs to take a nap.
It's true.
Oh my god.
But Aurora,
Describe her a nap.
Aurora and Brea are conscious.
Okay, so
I just
you're
wanna
hanging
make them-
on to the back of each side of the carriage and you use your foot and step on part of the wheel to slow it down like a manual brake.
Oh my god.
Shh, it's gonna work fine. No downside to this whatsoever.
How does one steer a carriage with no horse?
You guys just want to use your roll, or are you going to use your own brain
Titan.
power?
Hold on. I'm trying to use my knowledge, my extensive knowledge. of
Actual
carriages.
brain facts up in
I'm
there.
also considering the fact that it's going downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fast.
We're gonna lose control of it.
So
Do we have a stick that we can jam under one wheel
my
and
God.
jam under
It's
another?
You know, I just want to mention that I'm very excited to meet you guys, but I didn't expect it to be in this state.
Wait,
there could have been better circumstances.
so
You're right.
Pedi, are you who's the gnome man and who's the blonde?
She's the blonde. I'm the gnome man.
Okay, gnome man is Pedi. And blonde.
Trying to change my name, but it won't let me on this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I kind of
Oh,
forgot
shoot,
your
we can
name
do that.
from class as well. Beam at the front. Beam connects to the axle and the front wheels to make a turn. Guy is so smart. Guy knows all the things. Guy says that the hitch thing, the thing that you could. There's a thing if the carriage is down here and this thing and one horse on each side is connected to this thing, and this is what makes it steer. So Guy says there's a steery stick at the front.
We access that?
I don't know. Mirra's not that smart.
What
So in a
if?
font of inspiration, I figured out that there's a steery
There's
stick.
a steery stick. It's a thing that you connect the horse onto each side of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it controls the front axle.
Yes. Why
What
would Mirra
if
know that?
we take
I wouldn't, but Pedi would. Okay. Oh, I'm so
Yes.
sorry. I forgot your name from school. I'm Mirra. It is so nice to meet you. I'm sorry it's not under better circumstances.
I changed Mikey's nickname. It should reflect his character's name now.
I'm trying to figure out how to do it too.
What are your names? Please tell me
I
your
did it
names
for
so I
you.
can write them down.
Okay, sweet.
Give me
Sprocket
your
and
character names.
Yuelia?
Yeah, they call me Sprocket.
Yuelia.
You spoke at the
Yeah,
same
they're both
time.
updated.
Sprocket. Mikey?
Yuelia.
Yuelia.
Yeah, I didn't get as cool of a name.
That
I
looks
mean,
like
I'm
shit.
gonna call you Fred.
But close enough.
You're the
Aw.
new Fred boat.
No, I'm okay.
Oh, Fred Boat.
Thank you, but who
No.
who are you?
Don't worry about it. You're short.
Hold on, hold
Oh,
on,
this
hold
is our new friend, Mr. Shrike, and he's super big help.
on.
He's my.
I'm gonna run
usual-
up to him.
Is it possible to leave the pleasantries for later? I'm pretty sure the area around us is on fire.
Oh shoot, you're right. Okay, come on. Get the injured in the carriage now. We'll figure this out. Go, go.
Brief moment, Shrike got to see just the ooh and ah and fascination of this little gnome. For a brief moment until Yuelia said something, he was looking at you like you were made of platinum.
You have an
Shrike has a bad club.
admirer.
So I am too short to carry anyone, but I can at least help heal people so that they can either walk on their own or help push or help carry someone either. So
Shrike is just gonna load Gabriel into the carriage and then go where he's pointed to go.
As everyone is getting everything ready to get this party started, does Yuelia want to make a medicine check?
sure.
Can I assist?
Give
'Cause
me
I'm
the-
like super good. I'm
Give
probably
me
not
the
very
best medicine check that you can give.
I believe in you.
17.
Oh, that is a really good one.
So, she is actually right. You're not quite sure if she was just saying it or if she knew, but Lilith absolutely has a concussion. She's stable, but she is in horrid shape, and there's not a whole lot you can do for her.
Okay, so I can't do anything for Lilith here. Alright. So
The
this
old-
person is in grave danger. They need to be put in a carriage first.
They need
Let's
to
get
take
them
it.
out of here.
And as far as triaging goes, Lilith is red. Like, this is bad.
Mhm.
The older gentleman has a lot of really nasty cuts. Otherwise, he's passed out just from pain,
Okay.
you would think. He's not in any danger, but his wounds are severe. He's yellow as far as
Okay,
triage.
I'm going to use a closed wound to at least stop the bleeding.
As the wounds, you see the little fairy kind of dart a little bit, and it seems to respond to something. I guess do they do the thing like Shrike does where they talk to each other, but you can't really hear it because they're talking to each other? And then the fairy goes, and as she's touching Gabriel, all the wounds start to close up. He seems like he'll be alright, but he's probably not going to wake up anytime soon.
Alright, lady, help load him.
The other four, they don't look like they're harmed at all, but they're unconscious. You assume this could probably be a drug, a spell? Not quite sure.
Okay.
And then as far as the conscious members, well, they all look really horrible, and you're surprised they're even awake.
Okay. I'm going to tell Elvina to look around the area to see if they can find any more people that weren't accounted for, and I guess just tell me where they're at so we can help them or point them in that direction.
I'm assuming that it's going to take you guys like roughly 10-15 minutes to get everything situated, and you guys are prepped in the positions that you guys are going to be in to get this thing moving. Because you have to drive the cart over to the middle of the cobblestone road, and then everybody has to get in position after everyone's loaded. Alvinia says that she's found 3 civilians that are still alive, but out of the 57 in the area that she could check before you guys are getting started, only 3 of them are still alive.
Boy.
Okay. I'm going to go
They
to
are
where
Not conscious.
they are not conscious. Okay.
Do you need help? Yuelia?
Yes, I will need help to carry them to the carriage. So Elvina will at least point me in their direction, or at least we'll follow her, and then we'll find where they are. And bring them
Shrike, Mirra, you guys have more company.
Okay.
I'm assuming Seta can also participate as well. But yeah, I would say roughly around 6 or 7 cultists are making their way to you in the group.
Ding dong ditch, bitch.
Well, the problem is that they're going to intercept your new friends that are going to save some extra people.
How far away are they?
They are in Eldritch Blast range.
Are they within 60
Get Eldritch
feet?
Blast
Because I
then,
got.
I'm about to start sniping fools.
I'm
I got-
calling on lady to run
If
up
you
and find
make a mad sprint, Mirra, you can catch them before they get to Yuelia and Sprocket.
I'm gonna.
Shrike is just gonna
Yeah! I'm
start
gonna run.
I mean, you guys, for more or less, you guys pretty much decimate them, but it's the fact that you keep them off of the other 2. as you guys are tussling, I'm assuming Vi's helping.
Yes.
Vi manages to pick up all 3 of the hostages that Elvinia finds, and you guys make it all the way back. 2 adults, 1 child. None of them seem to be related to each other, at least not from appearance.
Into the carriage.
After the last couple of cultists are finished off with an Eldritch Blast and a nice stab, I mean, I guess it's now or never. Like I said, this isn't necessarily a just slight incline. I would say it's probably maybe a 30-degree incline for about a mile. Maybe even more than that.
Okay.
So
Maybe
I'm
would
actually-
it's probably more like 3 miles.
I'm going to stay outside of the carriage and just kind of walk along with them, and just kind of
you're
keep on
gonna be
patrol.
running to catch up at that
Say
incline?
once the other, as far as the plan goes, once Brea and Aurora push this thing, it's probably gonna take off.
Okay, then I have a.
Yep.
Does this carriage have like a roof on top or anything, or is it
Yes.
just an
Yeah.
open? Okay, then I'm going to hop on top and sit on top of it to just kind of look
Gotcha.
and stay on guard.
So Sprocket would probably, once again, Sprocket's mighty god guy, giving you all the cool factoids about carriages. Apparently, guys very into carriages. He was saying you could attach a rope that you could use it to steer. So if you attach a rope to the front stick thingy like here, and you're sitting up here, you got like a thing to attach to here, so when you pull on the one rope...
As far as Sprocket can tell, that seems like a legit idea.
Alright, we'll work on that then. I'll set up the
Alternative
contraption.
option.
I got rope.
Shrike can Eldritch Blast in front of us to cause craters that cause us to move.
Say what?
Or stall.
Anyways, onward!
Or stall.
So is Aurora and Brea pushing?
As
Lady
long
Rogue.
as they
Like,
could jump
not
on
needed.
afterwards. I want to make sure they can jump on.
It doesn't sound like Shrike is needed here. Shrike's gonna get in the carriage and rest.
I mean, there's
That's
still cultists along the way, but that's up to you.
You can blast, you can...
Oh, you know what?
You can
Shrike
ride
is a
shotgun.
100%
Literally.
Shrike is 100% gonna sit down, cross-legged on the roof, and he's just gonna snipe cultists as we go. Like not even a care in the world, just sniping.
Alright.
And that's actually what Elvinia is going to do as well. You see her casting
Oh,
Force Strike on
no.
enemies as we're walking by.
I
As
would like
we're
to
driving by.
assist with
No.
steering. Stop saying, oh no, that's not okay!
Oh my
Oh no.
No!
I still
That's
have
so bad.
my fire.
Stop
on
it!
low.
So, once everybody's situated, and I mean, I guess it kind of works out, but once everybody's situated, ready to go, Brea and Aurora just push the cart as hard as they can, but they're not able to get on the cart as it takes off. They
Yay!
rolled a 3 and a 2 on an athletics check. So,
We'll come back for you.
No, we won't!
the cart literally takes off with astounding speed.
We should have tried to tie them on.
It-
That would have been horrible.
It literally leaves them in the dust.
Oh no!
Do we also have to roll athletics checks to see if if we stay on top?
No.
Okay.
But who's driving again?
Me.
I'm helping. I like steering.
I
No.
believe.
Mostly because I like horses. And we don't have any horses. So I'm not sure what I'm doing up here. But, to help.
We're gonna say that this is We're gonna say that this is going to be. I'd say dexterity checks. I think that makes the most sense. Because it's about pulling the lever when you need to, not how hard you pull it. But
See?
just
Straight
keeping
dex.
it where, yeah, just straight dex.
Alrighty.
I would let this be a save, if that helps.
Oh.
I want to use
Well,
my
either
Mirra
way,
dice. I
it's
wanna
a
use
10.
my Mirra dice.
Okay.
Mirror
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
dice.
Let me know if we
I
die.
can't read
But
that.
I have until
Let me
Pedi
know
gets
if we
back, because this
die.
is going to be important.
Mirror dice rolled only a 5, which made it a 9. Mirror dice first roll single digits let me down. They need to be broken in.
Yuelia's on top.
Mm-hmm.
Shrike is inside.
Oh, Shrike
No,
is
he's
also
on top.
sniping.
Sniping.
Yeah.
Shrike is specifically cross-legged, kind of in the middle, but where he can see most of the way around him, so that he can snipe cultists. Because
Pew, pew.
I get to murder things right now, and that's a good thing.
Okay. So, Sprocket is
Since that
steering.
both Mirra and Brea have issues with Shrike killing things.
So where's Mirra?
I'm in the front
Mirra
helping
is
steer,
Helping steer, yeah.
but I got a 9. I
That
only rolled.
doesn't help.
That a 9 doesn't help. Okay.
Trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Please don't. Please don't. No.
Excuse me.
You are excused.
Alright, I'm out.
Peace.
I did decide, I'm gonna equip a dagger. That way I can actually do something other than Eldritch Blast. And slapping people.
Can you throw daggers? Or is that a thing you could do?
Can, but you're not gonna be able to get them back.
Yeah.
No, but
Technically, you can throw
Shrike,
anything.
I have proficiency in simple weapons, which dagger is a simple weapon. So to at least give me something other than a 0 damage slap.
Right.
Well off.
I
'Cause
also
it's
have a 0
literally-
damage slap.
'Cause
I
it's
also
one-
have a 0 damage slap.
Oh no!
1 plus your strength, so 0.
Well, 1
You're
plus 0 is still 1.
No, my
1
strength
plus negative
modifier is
1.
-1.
Well, so is
So, I have
mine, but
the-
I think I still
I-
do 1 slap damage.
My unarmed strike is 0.
Oh, that's hit DC plus. Okay. Yeah, I also do 0 slappy
Oh,
slap.
+4 to hit with my dagger, though. That's awesome. So that's become a thing. Anyway, so we're sniping some fools.
Anyway, so I started blasting.
Everybody here?
Mm-hmm.
Pedi?
Yeah, there.
Yeah?
Pedi.
Okay.
Pedi?
I just
Pedi.
heard him.
Oh, it scared him away.
I am driving this thing.
Okay.
I was trying to help. I have no help at all,
No.
apparently.
This thing starts shooting down.
Oh shit, and I have
pathway.
disadvantage, but then I rolled an 11, so okay. Nope, 9 is still my top. Because it's like an ability check or something, whatever.
It starts
So.
shooting down the pathway. You guys are cruising as it wobbles back and forth. It's a cobblestone, so it's not a perfect pathway. So you're kind of getting rumbled around as it's jetting down this, and the momentum's actually managing to keep up due to how steep it is. It doesn't seem to be going faster, but it's definitely at the speed that you want it to be at. Not too far into it, you managed to run over one cultist, so that's a plus.
Yay!
As Shrike is making pot shots at random cultists here and there, trying to help out random people that he sees. Mirra, your ear flickers. You hear a very familiar piercing, screeching noise. Above. It's above you.
Shrike, heads up!
Anybody that looks up sees this. Is it a pterodactyl? Is it a bat? It's really hard to tell, but it's flying right above you guys at about what you would guess is 100 feet.
Aim up.
It's easily keeping pace.
Um,
Sprocket, you would estimate that you're probably going about 50 miles per hour right now.
How high is
Hell
it above us
yeah.
right now?
Sorry?
How high is it above us right now?
You would guess that it's probably around 90 feet.
dang it.
50 miles.
If it gets within 60, I would like to ding dong ditch that bitch.
Ready to action?
Ready to action, please. Sprocket, you got this?
I'm trying.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shrike is
We're on
gonna hold action
cobblestones,
for
come
Eldritch
on.
Blast.
Come on, guys.
Bro, it's all bumpy.
It's starting to descend a little bit as it's making that piercing cry.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
It's very, very hard to maintain eye contact on it because you're losing vision here and there. Like, you only gain vision when you pass a burning building. And as soon as you go back into the darkness, it disappears from your sight.
Let me see.
Is anybody doing
Uh.
anything preemptive, or are you guys just watching it as it flies above you?
I don't think I have
Is there
anything.
I
like
actually, I kind of want to see if I already know what the creature is, or if at least
Sure.
I know some information on it. So
This would be...
history.
Yes, I would label it as history.
24.
Fantastic.
Okay, I am now actually back.
So, is there a entrance to the driver's seat from the carriage?
Yeah, that little window.
Little window?
Mm.
Oh my.
Window.
You're small.
Never mind. Carry on.
Give me a second to pull it up here.
Lady isn't.
Oh, I was just gonna say, are you talking about Lady Vi? I don't think she's gonna fit. She
What's
can
our
like lean
range
out
at
the
now?
window on the sides.
What was the question?
Oh,
What's our
there's
range at now?
there's a way to get up to the top from inside the carriage, but not to the front. Unless you go to the top and then go down the front.
There's that one
as-
corner that's basically a fake corner because it's just paint.
You be quiet. That paint turns real. I worked very
Oh, what
hard
the
on that.
fuck?
But
Well, as it's moving, it's
Yuelia-
also difficult to try and move. Yeah.
based off your studies, you immediately recognize it. So there's actually a very large volume of studied void creatures. Some of them actually...
Oh, there it is.
Some of them actually can more or less integrate themselves into living creatures like animals. And this is one called the Void Shrieker.
It's yucky.
Don't worry, guys. It only eats fruit.
I would actually know that information.
No,
It does not
I
eat
am
fruit.
very surprised that Mirra's not like, friend!
I kind of want to pet its ears. Look at them.
There we go. Mirra, get back inside.
Okay. Is there anything that we should be aware of from the creature that I would know about from that, from what I would be reading?
24, you're very
As in-
aware
Yeah.
that in total darkness, it generates no... It basically has like a shadow stepping ability in total darkness. If you can't see it, it can spontaneously teleport.
Between
To-
shadows.
Yeah,
That
pretty
is so
much.
cool.
Okay.
Not for an
And-
enemy, but you know, like in
you
general.
And you said it was starting to get darker around us?
Yes, you're basically only having vision every so often between the burning buildings or
Okay.
just fire in
Then-
general.
Then I'm
Um,
going to yell out to the rest of the group, or anyone that's in the carriage, or at least around this. Anyone with any source of lighting, they need to have it on right now.
On top of that,
Oh,
I do have the
I do.
salamander out.
it has an extremely powerful screech that's not so bad a ways, but within around 30 feet, it's pretty devastating and can leave people incapacitated.
it's probably even worse for me. Do I have like,
Yes, that would be thunder damage.
I'm not. I'm not even just talking about thunder damage. I mean, my perception, hearing.
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
gonna hurt for you. Haha.
yeah, I think I would have. What's the opposite of resistance?
Vulnerability.
That word.
Don't do that to yourself.
I'm sorry,
Don't
I'm just being
volunteer
honest.
that.
I have a 20-something perception because my ears are so powerful, and so not only am I wearing mithril, which means that, like, oh god, no.
What a
It's
time to be in a
horrible.
cult.
What's our range to Bat Boy?
So,
90.
and lastly, it has very, very powerful jaws and very, very powerful hind claws. And one of its favorite tactics is to teleport, screech, incapacitate somebody, and then just yank them, bring them really high, and just drop them.
Okay.
How rude.
So
Do we
anyway,
need to?
I started
Do you need to
blasting-
tie ourselves to the carriage so it can't like?
It would just take the carriage with it. We're not fighting this thing. We have to keep going. We have to just try and keep lighting on ourselves so it doesn't get a sneak attack and do our
I
best to
can
get the hell
blast
out of
it.
here.
Oh.
I think it's still too high. I don't know. The
90
range, I think
feet.
it's 90
I have a 120-foot range.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know if you want to make
we
it
don't-
angry.
we don't want to get it angry. We need to get the hell out of here. We have way too
Yeah.
many sick people.
I'll take
Would
out
be
my
able to-
Evertorch.
And the fact that it's keeping pace with us.
Given Yuelia's calculation abilities, Yuelia can definitely see that it's slowly getting lower down. It's about 70 feet to you guys now.
I think I need to blast it just to try and not.
To try and
Have it
slow it
come
down.
straight
Try
at
and
us?
aim for one of the wings, because if you aim for only one
Need
wing,
another dexterity check from Sprocket, please.
it'll
I got this, you guys.
like make it veer off.
I
Yeah,
pressed guidance on myself.
Cast guidance on myself. You can't. Can you cast guidance on yourself?
Yes, I think you can.
You touch one willing creature.
Yeah. Okay.
I am
I
willing!
am not willing to touch myself right now, thank you.
Alright.
So that's
Anyway,
gonna be 14 with guidance.
Okay. So, yeah, as you guys are speeding along the path, again, I mean, you actually managed to clip or run over a cultist here and there. You definitely managed to avoid the stuff that you're actually trying to avoid: potholes, large rocks, people look like civilians. Oh, that's another cart just sitting in the middle of the road. It's on fire. All of a sudden,
Shrike!
Rocket just yanks the thing over to the right, and everybody just kind of falls over as he barely manages to dodge this thing.
I'm just picturing the car, like the carriage going woo, woo, woo.
But Sprocket does manage to maintain control and get it back on the road. But you guys lost sight of the bat creature.
Oh no! Oh no!
That ain't good.
Oh no!
And there is still no light. You're reaching a point where there's going to be no light.
I'm taking out my. I would like to take out my Evertorch. It's not
Ooh,
much.
Evertorch.
It's not much
There we
light, but it's.
If anyone has any either spells to increase lighting,
I'll
I
be
should
directly
say-
around the carriage.
I should say Elvinia actually has dark vision up to 60 feet. So if she sees anything within that 60 feet, she would tell me.
Sure.
Shrike has
So do
dark
we.
vision to 120.
Right.
Okay.
I
Evertorch
need-
is 60 and 60, so 60 regular, 60 dim.
I need a athletics saving throw or basically an athletics or acrobatics.
From who?
From who?
From
Everyone. Ah no. Athletic.
It may or
Okay.
may not be as bad as you think.
Okay. I'm gonna trust you again, Mirra Dice. You
Oh.
gotta earn your keep here. Yeah,
I
get
have my new
athletics.
metal dice. I'm gonna roll my new metal dice.
athletics or acrobatics. The problem is I can't see what I roll until I pick. Ooh, 13 plus 5. Not bad. Yeah. What is that math? 18?
Yep.
Sweet.
Oh wait, I also have dark vision of 60
yeah,
feet.
so do we. That's what I said.
So never mind.
Of course
Okay.
you give yourself dark vision.
I got a 25.
Gnome team.
Nikes.
So
So bad
Okay,
for
no,
them,
no,
yes,
never
Bubba. So, basically, right as you're about to pull the torch out and it begins to light everything up, as you're holding it up, you just see this figure, this gigantic wingspan looming figure right over you. And it looks like it was about to grab you, but the torch got in the way instead, as it rips the torch from your hands and flies off.
Yeah, my torch!
that maybe. Well, how did it grab the torch?
And it's feeties.
Its hind legs.
Okay, so it will probably let it go.
Yeah,
Let's see
you see it. You visibly see it carrying the torch off, but it's like falling behind you guys, and then you just see it let the torch go as it falls to the ground.
I'm gonna call on Vi from outside the carriage to try to get her to start crawling towards the front.
Okay.
Fine, I'll
Pretty
take
close.
out and start lighting an actual torch. Like
Well,
a peasant.
Okay, so as it's flying away, and then it's gonna drop the torch, right?
Correct.
All right, I'm going to have Elvinia actually fly and try and pick up that torch, if that's possible. I really
Now,
doubt
really
she
far
could.
away.
You guys are basically the equivalent
Going
of
fast.
dashing. I'd say
Yeah.
it's even closer to 60 right now. So you guys are going 30, dashing 30 for the carriage. So the carriage going 60.
Okay, yeah, so she would get left behind.
Well, she can move 40.
30. She can move 30.
Can
30?
she
could fly 30, yeah.
can
Okay,
she
so she can-
carry like a few
So
pounds?
she can get to it, but she wouldn't be able to keep up with the group. But she would be able to
She would-
keep up at an even pace,
Right.
showing it with the torch, right?
Yeah, once
And
she got the
torch
torch,
is 60,
she'd be able
60,
to.
right?
Say what?
You said the torch is 60-60?
Yeah.
Okay,
120
so
total.
if Elvinia is at least flying on pace with the cart, then it should still light up the area around us in a 60-60, as
If
long
she
as she's
can catch
keeping
up.
pace. Yes, then I don't know.
But that's the dilemma: is that you would either have to bring the cart to a halt, or
I don't think we can do that going
Alternative
downhill right now.
theory.
do something
do
along
you
the lines of give
feel-
your fairy
Oh, wait.
haste.
Wait, did you get rid of that for me? Hold on. You
How
did
do
get
we
rid of it.
feel
Okay,
about
never
lighting
mind.
the carriage on fire?
What did I get rid of?
You got rid of my magic.
We are not Shrike, we're not flammable. We are flammable. I don't
You got
I
rid of my
don't-
mage hands.
Oh.
no, I don't want to be on fire. Wait, did
I
we-
need another dexterity save from everybody this time.
Okay, so no, I guess it's just gone. 'cause,
You
yeah, I
said
don't think-
saving throw, yes?
Yeah, this is a dexterity saving throw.
From who was it?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Dirty 20.
Shrike is gonna inspiration that.
That'd be up to 1 million.
30-20.
Oh, come on! I got a 9. It's plus
Shrike
4.
got a 15.
Yo, gnomes get it done.
How did I get the lowest?
Sure.
Shrike was lowest, and then he inspiration.
So, who did not get above 15?
Mirra.
Ooh.
Everyone else got a 15 or higher?
Dirty
Shrike
20
got
on my
a-
end.
Shrike got 15 on the dot because I inspiration.
And what did Sprocket get?
Oh, he got a 20.
Fantastic.
You want me to roll
Basically, as you're driving along the thing, the bat creature appears just for a moment on a fiery building as it just collides into it, and a large chunk of the building comes flying at the carriage. You end up having to steer it to the left to knock the carriage out of the direction, but it ends up actually going on 2 wheels for a moment, and everyone just falls over.
Oh, my
Many of
God.
you manage to keep your footing, but Mirra, you literally bounce on your butt and then almost fly off, and you're just kind of, your feet are like dragging, how do I describe it? Your front half, like your bosom up, and your arms are clinging onto the seat, but your bottom half is actually dragging across the ground underneath the carriage. Sprocket, you see your friend kind of desperate to Get back up.
Has Lady got to us yet when I called her?
She has not yet, but she is
Okay.
coming.
God. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to get one hand out. Come on.
Shrike, you see it getting closer.
Shrike is
Come
gonna
on, Mirra.
Eldritch Blast.
Give me attack roll.
And that is no good.
9.
That's a 9.
As you fire it, it just disappears, like, in an instant. You lost sight of it,
Son of a hoe bag.
because it's in the dark.
Alright, that's how we want to play. That's cool.
Can I reach Sprocket's hand?
Vi is now at the front.
Okay, never mind. I'll put my hand back. Get him, Lady. And I'll
I
get
need
my Shadow
a-
Defender to help.
I need an intelligence check from Sprocket,
Okay.
because this is basically going to be a left or right.
Alright.
Well, well, let me put it this way. You can choose left or right, or you can make an intelligence check to see which one is more appropriate.
So, I rolled a 2 and got a 5. But, Snake says left. I'll go left.
Remember, all of you have inspiration right now, too.
Oh.
Do I have
Shrike
one as
is
well?
Not anymore.
Yeah, you do.
It's a start of session. We get one.
I'll use my
Okay.
inspiration for this, so we
Okay.
make sure we get to the right place
Go better.
as the driver in the situation. So, intelligence check.
Hopefully you roll better than a 2.
Of course I will. It's me. Come on, and I got a 12. Which
Nice.
is
Well, that's better than a 2.
a little better.
It's better than
The right would definitely be wrong.
Hey!
Because time just kind of slows down for a bit as you're, like, calculating all these things. That how the wheels are jumbling back and forth. Everything ahead of you that could possibly change the trajectory of the cart. When the bat creature suddenly just appears in front of you and spreads its wings really wide, and it goes to inhale. You see its chest puff up as it's about to just unleash its sonic wrath on you guys at the front. But you notice that to the left, there's actually an additional path. And right before it screeches, you make the cart turn, and it cuts to the left. I need 3 dexterity saving throws back to back.
From who?
From, sorry, my apologies. From Sprocket.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Dexterity saving throws.
I'm still hanging off the carriage.
Yep, strength check from Mirra.
Is Lady assisting with Miss Mirra?
Well, it came up front. Did you tell it to help her out?
Yep.
Okay, you can do it at advantage, Mirra.
Alright, saving throw. Come on. Alright, that's an 11. Or
Okay.
first one. Come on. It went from a 17 to a 3. That's 5 for the second one. And a 13 for the third.
Okay.
I rolled 13 and 14.
Yes.
As it unleashes this, like, sonic roar where you can actually see its screech visibly distort the air, it barely misses the side of the cart, but you have a chance to get a shot off on it.
Eldritch Blast it shall be.
I'm actually gonna follow up with a Ray of Sickness.
That's a
Nice.
21 to hit.
I don't want it to
21
vomit on
hits.
me.
And that's gonna
Oh,
be.
it takes it- oh, it takes my
that's
spell
gross.
slot.
That's 5
Yeah,
damage.
you know what? Yeah, I will actually use a Ray of Sickness. I'm gonna use a spell slot.
Can my spirits cast any spells by themselves?
They are more or less what you use your other cantrips with.
Okay.
So, like Ray of Frost from Undyne and.
Well, because I was
Undyne?
gonna say like through Salamander, because that's who I have out since I never dismissed him. Could I do a firebolt from him?
Correct.
Can I do that at the same time right now?
Well, they're not strong enough to do that yet.
Okay.
but that's how it would work.
Okay, so I
Okay.
could have done Firebolt instead of Eldritch Blast, effectively.
Not yet. That would
Okay.
happen at level 6.
Coolio.
Okay, I tried to follow up with a Ray of Sickness,
Okay.
but I rolled a 9, so doubt that hit.
That does not hit.
And that still uses up the slot, correct?
Yup.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
So basically, as you guys are just slightly swaying off and this distortion happens, Shrike quickly throws up his hand, snaps his finger, and the ray fires off and slaps it right in the face. It cuts its scream short, and it withdraws back in pain, unfortunately causing the ray of sickness to fly by its face in a miss. As you're going down this pathway, Sprocket, you notice that you just basically went down an alleyway. This thing is just full of boxes and barrels and stuff, and you just try your best to move the cart this way, move the cart that way, and you run over some barrels too, causing everything to shake for a second. Mirra, you start to get up. Everybody make another dex saving throw at disadvantage.
I don't wanna.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage this time, yes. Mirra's mad.
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no!
I
I
rolled
got-
a 4 as my lowest,
Oh
I
no.
got an 11.
and a 6 as my highest, so it's not much better.
I'm not even gonna bother using my other talisman for that right now
No point in-
because
I'm not gonna bother you.
I don't think even if I rolled a natural 4 on that, it would make any
Now
difference.
that I'm thinking about it, shouldn't you guys be rolling at disadvantage for some of these anyway because of 2 levels of exhaustion?
I have 1 level.
It's
But I
only
think one level is
All
ability
level is
checks.
ability checks.
Level 1 is
2 levels.
disadvantage on ability checks.
Yep, 2 levels.
Right,
is
so that'll
half
be
speed.
like athletics and stuff.
So that means anybody with exhaustion.
Yeah, I should know.
everyone
I'm pretty much
not-
an expert in that.
But for saving throw, it doesn't affect saving throws.
God.
But any case, so as you're trying to dodge through everything, there's just this massive crate in the way, and there's just no way to dodge it. And as you guys smash into it, you feel like one of the tires, the front right tire, is kind of like wobbling now. It's kind of like almost skipping, and it's causing the carriage to kind of like make this hopping motion. So it's like
Picturing, like part of the wheel broke, but the rest of it is still fine. So it's like every so often there's like a gap in the wheel.
well, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And like every dip is the cart or the carriage dipping. So it's just this constant like bobbing motion from the front right of the carriage.
Yeah.
Can I cast Mending on that?
Yes, you can.
Nice.
After everybody recovers, because when this happens, it sends everybody flying. Everybody manages to stay on the cart, but now you guys have to pull yourselves back up.
Okay, yeah. Well, before I jump back up on top, I'm gonna I'm gonna use Mending onto the tire itself to fix it. So we
Tire
can
is
get back.
fixed. Nicely done.
I would like to. First of all, I want to work on lighting a torch like a peasant, and then
You have to pull yourself back up if you didn't
Yep.
get over 15.
yeah, I would like to do that.
Well,
And just so you know, my plan is to light a torch and
Oh,
then
you
tie.
didn't get over a 15?
Well, you
dis-
not so. Everyone else, you have
Wait.
something to hold on to.
Yeah.
I
What about
have to start
Lady?
trying
Should
to
I
pull
roll for her
myself
real
up
quick?
now?
Yeah, you actually should roll for Lady
Okay,
because
let me
she's
do that.
kind of helped Mirra up.
Yeah.
The mirror just went off.
Alright, dex saving throws, he gets a +3. At disadvantage, it's not going to be above 15. Well, the second one was a 15 +3.
Okay.
But a
Alright.
disadvantage, it's a fail.
Yeah, disadvantage is a fail.
So, Mirra, you're still holding on to Vi's arm. The Vi is now on its belly holding you. So anybody pulling themselves up at this point needs to make the athletics check, and if you have exhaustion, that's a disadvantage.
okay, so the
Well,
have
For
Yeah.
Mirra, that's not true because Vi's helping you out, and it doesn't have exhaustion. So
Okay,
Mirra rolls normal, and Yuelia rolls normal. I'm
okay.
pretty sure Shrike doesn't have exhaustion.
Shrike has 1 level,
Okay, so you have to pull yourself up at disadvantage. That's it.
and
Okay.
that's athletics check.
Yep.
Disadvantage roll.
Natural
Oh
20.
my god, I'm done.
I rolled a nat 20 and he rolled a nat 1.
Again?
Roll the nat 1 minus 1.
I got
rolled a nat 20
16
minus 1.
minus 1.
My god.
I should probably.
I got a
Shrike is
nat.
gone, guys.
20
like,
minus
Shrike
1.
just got left behind and rolled over. Like,
Oh
So-
no.
Mirra manages to pull herself up thanks to Vi.
Yeah.
Sprocket makes another quick turn to the right, and it, as you blow through what seems to be like a hay bale or something, your guys are now back onto the main path. Sprocket, you notice that the cart is actually starting to go a little bit faster than the norm.
Oh,
It's starting to pick up speed even though you've ran into stuff.
it's
it
because
goes to the
someone
body?
mended the wheel. Made it worse.
Well, on top of that, it seems like the road's getting a little bit steeper.
Oh my.
So did we lose Shrike because he failed, or
I don't know, you don't see him.
well he was up top with me. So if he's not up top with me, I would see it.
Well, that's what I mean. You see that he's not up top with you.
Guys, we have a problem.
on.
We're missing somebody.
Shrike has the
We-
Horn of Silent Alarm, though.
no, I do.
Oh shit, you do, dude.
Yes, I do.
You're a robot, right, Shrike?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Tree bot. What did you
Oh,
call
a
me?
tree bot. Okay. Okay, I got this. Hey guys, we lost our Trent.
What's a trend?
I'm here for it.
What'd he
I
say?
think you message Dave.
I think he said.
Oh, you did too.
Oh,
Shrike is gonna attempt to yell as loud as he can that I'm here, barely.
Here, I'm here, I'm here. It's coming from the right side of the carriage.
I can.
We-
so
We
Wait.
have to stop. We lost
Alvinia.
somebody.
It's coming.
Oh no.
All of a sudden, you feel a massive crash as the whole carriage shakes as this thing lands on the back of the carriage and starts slowly crawling towards Yuelia.
Are we stopped at this point, or
No,
we
it's
there
going
we can't
faster.
stop. We're going
Okay.
downhill.
Alright,
Very
so this
fast.
thing is
I mean, you-
chasing us. Is
you
he on
can't-
foot?
It
stop.
landed on the
Yeah,
carriage.
Is he?
now.
Is this thing on foot or flying?
It's
and
on the
behind us?
carriage.
It has landed on the back of the carriage and is basically taking up the entire rear end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shrike, grab
I got
onto it.
Sprocket, you can definitely tell the weight of this thing is causing the front of the carriage to lift up a little bit onto its back wheels.
Oh god,
We're
we're losing our steering.
Alvinia is going to go ahead and cast Force Strike on the creature.
Okay.
Can
Oh my,
Shrike
oh
see
my,
it at
oh
all
my,
from
oh
his
my.
angle?
Can Shrike what?
See it at all from his angle?
Oh yeah. This thing is
Shrike is going to like
Okay, so that's a
attempt
17.
to one-handed Eldritch Blast, like
sure.
holding on, blast, and then immediately grab back on.
Okay.
So that's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Also a 17 to hit.
That hits.
All right, let me roll damage.
What was
Ooh,
the
that's actually not bad.
What was the first damage roll you landed on, Dave?
5.
So that's 10. It's void creatures are weak to force.
Oh,
And then
okay,
I just
cool.
did 8 plus 3, so 11, and then that. So if they're weak to
22.
force, then that's 22.
Okay,
So that's
I
32 so far from Dave.
I did 2 and 2, so 4, so 8.
So that's 4 times 2.
Yeah, no, I rolled. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. It's 2 plus 2. So yeah, 4 points of force doubled is 8 then.
Yeah, I was just making sure it was doubled.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we're sitting on 40 points of damage. That's not bad for just a couple of hits you guys have gotten in.
Considering one of us is currently hanging for his life
Is
at the same
it
time.
right above us? How close is it to us?
It's
He's
on the
cart.
carriage.
So if you were, let's look at the use your voice, your picture in Discord.
Okay.
Let's say that your picture is like where you're actually standing.
Okay.
The right side of your picture box, let's say at least a fourth of it is taken up. Like
Okay. So
the farthest fourth of the box is being taken
Is
up
it-
by this thing.
Is it within my reach that I can touch it?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, you can walk up and touch it, but it's not immediately touchable.
Okay, but I can make an effort to touch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would Mirra like to do at this point, seeing that a couple people have done some stuff?
I would like to make sure I'm on the carriage fully.
You
That-
are.
That's my number one priority.
Why is currently just holding your hand at the moment? She hasn't let go.
So
She's my friend now. I want to. I want to find. Okay.
See the giant creature on the back of
Okay.
the court.
Alright, go ahead. I'll
I heard Shrike in back right. I want to. I'm gonna look at by and be like, make sure he doesn't fall off, and then I want to crawl into that little hole and get in the carriage, and either wasn't there a window out the back or
There's windows
peek out
in
the
every
door?
direction.
Yeah, so I want to
It's
like
open on every direction. The only windows is made of cloth.
yeah, so I want to peek out
Or the
windows.
shit
I want to try and find Shrike and assist him in either getting in or getting back up. I want to assist
You
Shrike.
peek out the right side of the carriage. If you take your turn, air quotations,
Yes,
peek
that's
out the
yes.
right side, you see Shrike hanging out as you peek your head out. So
Oh,
Shrike,
hi.
all of a sudden you see Mirra's head peek out the side of the carriage window, and you guys see each other.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
I mean, technically, you still have an action.
I'm
Air
not very
quotes.
strong, but I would like to help. Grab.
Okay. She manages it. It's a little bit of a stretch, but you do manage to reach Shrike's arm.
Eh.
Now, Sprocket, things are about to get a little bit crazy for you.
oh,
Odd.
no.
Now, you heard Mirra talking to Vi.
Oh no,
I
did I
mean,
say the wrong thing?
You can make her do something if you'd like, but there are a lot more cultists in the way. Like, given calculation, there's probably enough of them to stop the carriage if you ran into them all.
Run into them.
I believe in you. You got this.
Is this the prisoner problem? You gotta like run over one prisoner or run over three or something?
Yeah, but we know these prisoners are bad, and problem is if we run into too many, then it's just gonna like
I'll be
bring
right
us
back.
to a halt, and then we're surrounded by the ones we didn't hit, and they're probably gonna be a little upsetty spaghetti that we hit the rest of their friends.
Oh my
You're
god.
gonna do Sprocket.
First off, I'm gonna tell Vi, lady, God, we need that thing off the carriage now. Go. And I'm gonna try to tell her to.
So it's gonna take that command as like throw it off the carriage. Is that okay?
I'm gonna say like it's pretty much gonna attack the.
Okay.
I wanted to attack the void creature with force and power to rend.
Wait, what?
It has an action called force and power to rend, which is a melee weapon attack.
Please tell me.
Its hit is +4, and it's a 1d8 +2 force damage.
Nice. Why do you guys have so much force damage?
I have none if that helps, so
I
you know they're
empowered
making
this
up
lady.
for it.
Okay, so Vi starts walking on the top, and he just kind of hulks past Yuelia towards this thing. It can. What's its movement?
40.
It has 40 movement?
It has 40 movement.
It's got long legs.
We are basically like
Don't wreck the void.
Well,
I'm
I
not.
mean,
not
even without 40 feet, you could make it to it. But yeah, Vi's up in its face.
You see markings I've put on its fist start to glow a dim green, and she's gonna start swinging.
And I just go in and swing.
Swing.
So, anyways, I just started swinging.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
So what,
Anyways,
what just
exactly.
happened,
I
Bart?
just picture. What's happening?
he
Yeah,
sent
I
the
had to
robot
spell it.
after it.
Oh,
Oh,
so Vi had, Lady Vi is up there and starting to punch Bat Lady. I think it's a girl.
roll
I want
to
to
hit.
put a bow in its hair. I
Bat
think,
lady.
yeah, I think the creature's a girl. Yeah. I'm hanging on to one of Shrike's arms to try and assist. Sprocket is having a situation up front because we can either stop ourselves using cultist bodies, or we can try and dodge, and things are going to get a little dicey. And I don't know where you're standing, so
how far away are the cultists, and can I see them?
everywhere.
Well, there's definitely
Everywhere.
enough fire to see the horde, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
So you do see them up ahead, more or less. There's easily about 200 of these cultists between you and further down
What
the
the
path.
hell?
It's a good thing I'm hanging on. to Shrike.
Okay.
You
Now,
want-
granted, it's not just cultists. You can definitely see that there's some Valona in there fighting them off.
Look out! Low!
But there are a lot. A lot. But, so, Vi goes up and goes to make an attack roll?
Yeah, you let me go ahead and roll.
Yes, please.
Come on, please. It's going to be 12 plus 4, so 16.
16 hits.
Ah. That's going to be, let's see, 1d8 plus 2. So that's 4 points of force damage, and then doubled is 8.
So, Vi just kind of... I don't even know what posture it takes, but it just kind of... Terminator walks over this stiff, movement over to this creature, and as it goes to inhale again, the Vi just reels back a punch and just nails it in the face, and it falls off the carriage and starts rolling into the darkness.
Oh no, it's in darkness!
As long as
Okay.
we're not in darkness, we're okay.
And after that
Rocket?
I'm going to start screaming, guys, we have a lot of people in our way, and I can't do anything about it.
Look out below!
Rocket,
Yell
Try
out
not
the
to hit
window.
any of our friends.
I'm gonna flip over this hourglass right now,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say you have that much time to figure out your next choice via questions or whatnot.
Okay.
If
Alright,
you
so
don't make a
we're-
decision, but don't let me turn it over just yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say this: you guys can make a decision together as you guys pull yourselves together on top of the carriage. But you can
Wait,
ask
Shrike back
questions.
up then?
Yes, Mirra helped you into the carriage. But
Okay.
let me explain it like this. I'm gonna flip the hourglass over. You guys can ask questions, get answers and stuff. But if you don't answer before the time runs out, I decide what happens.
Okay.
But we can't see the hourglass, it doesn't help.
That means we gotta come up quickly. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And
Guys,
I'm gonna flip it now.
okay.
I need a way to thin the herd really bad,
So
or we're
there's
stopping.
all right. So we don't want to hit any of our friends because they're in a combat thing. Like they're fighting other people as well. So we don't want to attack any of them. Do
They
you
are
think you can
taking
try
up-
and steer in a way where it doesn't hit anybody?
I
mean,
do not
it's
see that
possible, but
possible.
unlikely.
Did I hear
Ooh,
God
can
say
I
it's
go?
possible?
Can I? If I take Shrike and Lady Vi to the front, could we try and steer to not hit as many cultists so we don't stop? But any people that we see that are like good people, can we like grab them up and on the carriage so we just collect people?
Fear if we get more people, we're gonna slow this thing
That
down.
is not
going
gonna be easy.
No,
Sorry, Miss
but
Mirra.
that's all I
Like,
got.
I think we're just gonna have to go. We're just gonna have to push
Yeah,
through.
plan is I'm gonna try to steer it in a way where I don't hit as many, or it's a way to just not stop the carriage. But I need someone to thin the herd if that doesn't work.
Shrike is going to effectively just sit at the front with the driver and thin the herd best he can.
Okay.
Alright.
I also pulled out my crossbow and just
Alright.
started picking out or shooting as many as I could to try and drop them out.
Any last thing that Mirra's gonna try and do?
I would really like to try and get down with Sprocket and okay, so fucking timer. Is Vi on top? Is Vi in front?
But you guys made a decision, so I'm letting you just decide what you're gonna do.
Okay. Well, because I wanted to try. Well, because I'm gonna get pulled under the carriage. I'm staying inside the carriage and I'm just yelling for people to look out of the way through the little window to the front.
Okay.
Josh, you have to let me know how many crossbow bolts I end up using.
Well,
firing.
are you gonna use as many as you're able to in the time frame?
Right. So you either you want me to roll,
Alright.
or do you want to roll, or do you want me to just something?
I mean, there's enough people in the street that if you fire, you're probably gonna hit someone. So it
You and
depends on how
Shrike
many you
work
want to
together. You guys will both get 5 opportunities to help Sprocket out. So make 5 attack rolls.
Okay.
Do them do them together once and tell me the results, and then do them together, do them in pairs so we don't get
Okay.
confused.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it here. Okay.
My first one is a 11 to hit.
Mine
Okay.
is a 13.
Basically, you're trying to beat an 8.
Okay. So then that hits.
Do you want to
do we
roll
need
of damage, or?
Nope, they're mooks.
Okay.
Look
So the
out!
next one.
Oh my god. Well, I lost that one.
Yep. So did I. That's a 7.
That's
Nope.
a 5 for me.
Nope.
All right. Next one.
Run away, carriage!
That's a 9.
That's a 6.
Yes and nope.
That's 3 so far, right?
Yeah. This is number 4.
Okay.
13.
And 17.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then last roll. Dirty 20.
A 15.
Awesome. So, lastly, I need another set of 3 dexterity rolls from Sprocket, and this is going to determine how this wraps up.
Okay.
Is-
Dexterity saves or dexterity checks?
Checks. No,
'Cause I'm
saves. I'm sorry. Saves.
Saves?
Pardon
Okay.
me. But it looked.
I know this is a life or death situation, but Sprocket is having fun.
I'm
Ready,
sure this
guys?
is giving him tons of inspiration.
This is. Okay, first one
I believe in you.
is a natural 20!
Woo!
Yeah!
You automatically succeed on the second one. Roll the third one.
Ah!
Natural
And the third one was a 5, but it's okay.
Inspiration!
I
You only
already
needed
used it.
2 rolls.
Oh.
So
You
what's
can- Well, other people can use inspiration for other people.
I
Shrike
would
doesn't
like
have
to-
it.
I would like to give him my inspiration. I haven't used it. I believe
okay.
in you. I'm right behind you. I'm looking out the little window, like out of the way, people, and I'm being encouraging. I'm kind of having fun because I'm safe partway sticking out of the carriage. You can have
This
my
is a
inspiration.
crazy carriage ride, I tell you what.
I'm gonna turn around and take my eyes off the road. You're my idol, thank you so much! And just go for it. That is a 18.
Yeah!
So, you guys are barely picking up speed, even more speed. You guys are probably, given calculations by Sprocket, you guys are probably reaching about 80 feet a turn.
I hope
as
we
you guys
don't
start going
have.
through-
Oh, God.
Don't have what?
I'm concerned. I'm just concerned right now. Go, proceed.
So as you guys are barreling through, you just see Shrike and Yuelia just like trying to pick off people. A lot of the crossbow shots aren't really hitting their mark, and the carriage just runs into groups of people, causing the carriage to like bounce and crash all over the place. And there's a couple of times where it goes on two wheels again, and you're just kind of making your way through. You accidentally run over one of the, or not run over, but Yuelia accidentally shoots one of the Valonan soldiers with her crossbow.
Sorry.
It doesn't seem to be a major wound as you
It
fly
maimed
by.
him. None the
But-
knee.
You guys are just
Oh,
swinging
I-
left and
Damn it.
right, and just like weaving through, and all these people are kind of like jumping out of the way as they're realizing what's coming through.
Out of the way!
When did the carriage get on fire?
What? Shrike!
The left side of the carriage is all of a sudden up in flames. All the cloth is on fire, and you guys are making your way through, and you finally get past all the people that are just in this mob. Apparently, this full-blown fight has just broken out at the bottom of the hill, and you guys are about to make it to the gate, when suddenly the creature appears just out of the darkness in front of Sprocket, and it lands on the front of the carriage and puts its hind leg just pressing Sprocket against the seat. Let's see.
Eldritch Blast.
Hang on a second. Sprocket, I need you to take 4 points of damage, please.
4 points of damage.
As it literally just crushes you into the seat. And it's basically keeping you from doing a whole lot other than steering. It's very painful. Did I hear an Eldritch Blast?
You definitely did.
I mean,
Can you make it a disadvantage?
Disadvantage?
Yes.
I'm like right
That is a
half out of
10.
that window. A 10.
Well, you're at the front. You see this happening.
Yeah, I would like to
Disadvantage is a
stab
10
the
to hit.
foot. Like, ow!
What was that?
10 to hit.
10 does not hit.
That's unfortunate.
As you go to make your snap, it knows almost instinctively from the pain you've inflicted on it so far, and it actually kind of like buffets its wings, where it just like flaps its wings a little bit to kind of go on one foot, pushing more pressure onto Sprocket, but it actually manages to dodge out of the way as you fire, and goes back to hanging onto the carriage. And you said you're gonna try and stabby it?
Stabby stab. Stab stab.
Alright. Make an attack roll. Clever girl.
Oh, apparently I got a 15. My screen went black, but you know. That's fine. Oh,
15
fine.
hits. So, usually I would say, how do you want to do this? But I have a very fitting way for it to die. So,
Okay.
as the
Gross.
carriage is moving forward, Sprocket, you look up ahead and you see that there's an overpass. The carriage is basically steering to the left, so you're not actually going to go under it. You're about to go into the side, where it's a wall. So as you're steering it back over to the right, Mirra, you run up and you stab it in the foot really hard. I'm not sure if you really yell at anything at it, but it actually screeches and it goes to fly away, and as it gets about 10 feet up into the air, you just see it fucking run into the overpass and just get obliterated as it falls to the ground. Like, its head was missing as it falls forward.
Holy shit. Yuelia, did you see that? Did you see that?
I did.
Sorry!
You guys are exiting the dock areas as the carriage proceeds forward into the dark.
Run away,
I'm gonna
carriage! Just in
I'm
case
gonna-
anyone's in here.
Well, I'm gonna suggest that we probably either slow it down or
It'll
maybe
run out
come
of
to a stop so
momentum
we can
eventually.
one keep or like take into account everyone that we have, or anyone needs, you know, to catch a breather or something.
Oh yeah, is it still on fire?
Have
Yeah,
that
it's
too,
still
we
on
kinda need to
fire.
fix that.
I would like to do what I can from the inside, since I'm, or the outside. I would like to do what I
Alright, so
can
that's what I'm gonna
dealing with
suggest.
that.
I think
Would-
I think we should stop to tend to this fire.
For the
Well-
fire, would you consider it the size of a small campfire?
Because then,
Yeah, I
do you have
wouldn't say
control
it's
bonfire?
basically the cloth of the carriage on the left side caught on fire. It's not
Right,
necessarily a
I-
horrible thing, but it's on
I'm gonna-
fire.
Okay, so I'm gonna druid craft.
Okay. And the fire is out.
Yeah, because with Druidcraft I can instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire.
Yeah, that's definitely snuffable.
How did you do that?
Snuffed it.
You're amazing.
We'll run out of momentum eventually, so
You guys are starting to reach about 15, 10 miles per hour, or
Yeah.
10 feet a turn.
we're good.
So like every 6 seconds, you're only getting like 6. You can basically walk faster than this thing now.
Okay, I'm going to, well, since we're going slower, I'm gonna try and make my way towards the front and use close
my way.
wound on Sprocket.
You can use a hit dice to heal yourself.
I can.
Wait, you learned that, Lucky?
I fixed it, so now everybody can learn it if they can get cleric cantrips.
I got 8 hit points back.
Sick.
Nice.
But is it 1 plus or is it what you roll? Let me see. Hold on. Sorry.
It's what you roll plus your con, right?
Constitution.
Rolling the
But the
die and
spell
adding
is-
their Constitution modifier to the result. They gain hit points equal to yes.
Yep. I got a
Okay,
7
yep.
plus 1.
Okay.
And
cool.
as people are being healed and the fire's put out, the carriage literally comes to a stop from reaching flat ground. Possibly a little bit of incline, but nonetheless, it stops moving on its own.
Well, that's convenient.
Holy shit, that was intense. It seems like everybody inside the carriage is alright still.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's do it again.
No.
Good.
No.
No, I think we're good. I think
know what?
Albinia's had
I'm
enough
with-
for today.
I'm with the short one.
Which
let's
one?
Do it again.
Make
Oh.
sure if you were keeping track, make sure you delete your ever-burning torch from your inventory.
We
I'm
had
sorry.
a dog?
We can always go back.
Wait, there was a dog involved.
I don't
We can
know.
always go back.
It's there. We'll find it. No, we don't have time. We have too many sick.
Well, like I said, from a triage perspective, you got 4 green, just people who are unconscious. I'd say roughly, 5 green if you count Sprocket.
Oh, my dog?
Why,
got-
why is he green?
You're
Green, as
if
in there's
you're
no
good at
problem.
walking.
Oh, no problem. Okay, got it.
They can walk and talk and do things on their own.
Okay.
As far as triaging in the medical field, that's good. You got 3 yellow, which is the old man, Mirra the cat-looking girl, and the treant man. And then you got 1 red, which is Lilith.
Alright.
No blacks. That's awesome.
I'm going to
Yeah, no deaths.
I'm gonna walk up to Shrike now that we have time.
You're
Wait,
getting
how
that.
tall are you?
You're getting that sense of like admiration just glowing from him.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna
I-
go over to Mirra and see after all that she went through if she had any any wounds or anything that could be touched up.
Yeah,
And I'm just
she's.
gonna use close wound.
Yes, I'm gonna do the same for Shrike.
If you
You look amazing, but here, let me help you.
guys have hit dice less to spend, you can use them to heal yourselves.
Okay.
I don't
Let
really
me-
know.
So, Shrike counts as a construct, right?
Yes.
He does not.
He does not?
Mhm.
Oh, then Lady won't be able to help
In
you.
3.5 edition, as in 3.5 edition, they were considered constructs. In 5e, they're considered humanoids.
Got you.
Almost lame.
Hey, at least they got to keep the no eating, no sleeping, no What was
no
it?
eat,
breathing.
no eat, no sleep, no drink, no breathing. I'm immune to disease. I don't need to. Magic can't put me to sleep. And
I was about to say,
my
they kept a
long rest
lot of
is
their
6
strengths.
hours.
So, instead,
Damn.
you'll see Sprocket reach into one of his pouches and grab a bunch of clockwork little spiders. And you'll see him. Those spiders have like little tubes on top of them with red liquid, and some of them have little needles, and they start crawling around and pretty much patching you up. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Hopefully you don't have a phobia.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
Did you heal yourself, Mirra?
I
Shrike.
did. I got 8.
You heal 8 hit points.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, like
I'll
I said, I kind of, what's the word? If you can, don't say what your actual numbers are, but
Oh,
you
sorry.
can say like if you're
I healed good.
if you're below half,
Ye.
then you don't look that great. If you're above half, you'll definitely look better. If you're close to full HP, then you look like you're not doing bad at all. And if you're close to 0 HP, you look pretty banged up.
I still look kind of bad, but I'm not like, oh my god, like.
Okay.
I
then
look like I could ride the ride again.
So their movement actually starts to look better, but you can tell that whatever they went through before you guys showed up has definitely taken its toll.
Okay. So
Level
now that
4.
we're at least better, one good question: where the hell are we going?
That's
Well,
an excellent question.
we were just trying to get within the walls.
Yuelia, being the Scarlet individual that she is, you can, with Sprocket's help, you can roughly guesstimate how far you guys have traveled just going down the hill and everything.
Yeah, if we
Like,
do
it
the math.
didn't really take you as far as you would want. You're definitely way beyond the harbor, the old harbor area, and you've basically made it to like the more like, I guess you could say, outside residents, the people who kind of set up shop outside the Valona walls. They're not really Valona citizens, but they kind of mooch off of Valona's protection by just...
Being in the general vicinity.
Yeah, it's not like Valona's just gonna leave them to die or anything. So they kind of are Valona citizens, but they're not. But basically you're in that residential area where it's mostly these houses made out of, I wouldn't say shoddy wood, but this is the stuff inside Valona is made out of really nice bricks and mortar, and the buildings look like they're gonna last. Outside, the buildings aren't as great. They're made out of wood. You can tell that there was effort put into them, but they're definitely not of, like, let me put it this way. On a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being the best, the buildings inside Valona are probably 80 plus, even from the lowest, the people of the lowest circles. Whereas outside, they're probably reaching 40 or 50 in quality.
I need to trim these bags. I think I made them uneven. It's my bad.
But
Well,
it's the buildings are crowded enough that it gives you a sense that, you know, this is a town outside of the walls. But I mean, it's definitely not, they're definitely not tall or as numerous as the, feel like there's alleyways or anything.
trying
So
to
right
gauge
now you guys are just kind of sitting in the middle of the roadway between a whole bunch of buildings that are more than likely people's homes.
trying to gauge it. How much longer do we have until we reach Valona? How far did we
Does
get?
it look like the
Try to get my
cultists
time.
have made it this far? How about that?
It does not. And as
Or
far
better.
as what
Better.
if you work with Yuelia, basically, I mean, with horses, it would probably take another hour or two to get to the main front gate. But the thing is you guys don't have horses.
Well, maybe we can borrow some from one of these people, or
I can try to get Lady to pull the cart, but I don't think she can pull it with all of us. in
no.
here.
I think we
Probably
should talk
with
to
the
these
injured.
people to see if either we can
Have to.
either
Go ahead, sorry.
either maybe borrow a horse.
If we use
Possibly
their
buy a
horses,
horse.
we can also give them a ride into the
That,
city.
or if we can, I mean, this is a small little village type city, right? Or from what you were saying,
Yeah, I mean,
then
Shrike is gonna go knock on someone's door.
but before all that though, what is Vi's sign? Do you have,
He is.
is Vi a part of your list? Do you have
Yeah, she has-
defender as...
She has stats. She's under my X's.
Okay, let me take a look really quick. Because if we go through the push and pull rolls, I think we can determine... Steel Defender. So it's a +2 strength
You're
modifier.
an Artificer.
Is
Yeah.
considered medium.
The Clockwork Spider should have told you that. I
know
want
what?
one.
I didn't put 3
I want,
and 3 together.
I want one to
okay?
be my friend.
I didn't put 3 and 3 together. I got 4.
Does not get exhausted.
You can
got
push,
fish.
drag, or lift a weight in pounds up to twice your carrying capacity or 30 times your strength score. So 14 times 30.
That's a lot.
That's 300.
Oh,
It's like 420 pounds.
Too bad Vel
So
isn't
that-
here. She could do 1,000. She was
times
made for
30 is 420.
Yes, I was saying it was so you definitely can't pull the carriage and everything at a reason. Like Vi could push this, but it's going to be very taxing and very slow.
Taxing.
The question is, can Vi? Let me look at it really quick. Immune to exhaustion.
Yep.
So I mean, it won't be that fast, but it'll work.
Well, why don't we just see if we can either borrow horses from these people, or maybe we can leave some of the sick here if they're in really that bad of a shape, but I don't really want to leave them all here.
Well,
that.
oop,
No,
I don't
our
know any of this.
are sick are who the cultists are after. These are their hostages. They're not
Okay.
sick.
Okay, so we can't leave them here. Then
It's very good that you explain to them what the circumstances are.
Okay, then I suggest we try and find a horse. Let's go talk to people.
I like talking to people.
Yeah, Shrike is just gonna start knocking on doors.
Just so you know, it is like 10 o'clock at night.
That's fine. Shrike don't give a fuck.
No, Shrike, we have to look for like a
Well, he already
stable.
starts banging on one of the doors closest by.
Shrike, we
And
gotta look
Shrike
for a
is
stable.
not doing
Not
it
everyone is
shyly.
rich enough for horses. Okay.
Shrike is not even doing it shyly. He's just straight up like making as much noise as he can so that the neighbors wake up, so that I don't need to worry about waking them up after.
But between Mirra's perception and just the intelligence scores of Sprocket and Yuelia, none of these people seem to have anything nearby that would indicate that there would be horses nearby.
Shrike, they
No,
don't.
but they might be
No,
able to
no.
point me in the right direction.
No
True.
stables or anything.
There doesn't in the vicinity that you were able to see, especially in complete darkness.
Yeah, I'll light actual torch is
Hey,
only
yeah, I
20,
also have
20,
a torch.
20 and
Hey.
20.
Yeah, I also have
But-
a torch that I can.
But the
Bring
torch
them.
is also. But yeah, there's
Well, I
nothing.
have dark vision for the most part, but
I don't. I think
There seems to be a couple of them that maybe they're tanners. A couple of them that maybe they do blacksmith work.
is
Oh, we
is
also have to
there- is
warn
there, like, a
them. We have to
tavern or
warn them to
anything?
get inside the city.
Well, there's no tavern that you can see or that you know of. Shrike, when the third door you knock on, somebody opens after like a minute or two.
Can you point me towards some horses?
Excuse me? He's a very thin, frail-looking gentleman, and very dirty in complexion. His face and hands and stuff are covered in dirt.
Cool. Yeah, horses.
No, we have to get them all into the city. The cultists are attacking! Cultists are attacking the docks!
And
Ev-
he slams the door shut.
Everyone needs to get inside the city walls! You are
Okay,
not
Okay.
savior!
We're making the situation worse. Okay.
No, they're gonna.
Sir, if you do not reopen this door,
You
I'm
gotta get
breaking
inside the walls!
Guys,
Yes.
leave the poor man be.
Get
Or
inside the walls!
I think we need to cut our losses and just start going.
We need to get.
We're-
We need to tell the people to get inside the walls. They're not safe here.
The
You're not
larger the
safe.
gate,
You have to
the
get
harder-
inside the walls.
The
You
harder.
actually see some people come out and they start to kind of gather. And you hear one of the ladies, Miss, you're one of those elites, right?
Yeah, I hold up my badge thingy. Cultists are attacking the docks. Everyone needs to get inside the walls quickly.
You see them all starting to discuss between each other, and you see them kind of just do like a slight bow of respect. And you see them go in their homes, and maybe just 3-4 minutes later, you see that they've gathered what they can carry, and they all start just going to other people's houses, and everyone is just moving towards the walls on foot.
Good. Does anyone know where the closest stables are? Now that people are like out and about. That's how you do it. That's
You
easier.
cut out a lot on that statement.
Sorry. Now that people are out and about, does anybody know where a stable would be?
They all start pointing. I'm just gonna say a direction, but they basically gesture towards where the stable and inn would be for this area.
Thank you. Make sure everyone gets inside the walls.
Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go try and get a horse for us, I guess, while everyone else can, or whoever wants to, can try and gather up as many of the people here and all of that. We're gonna need more carriages, apparently.
They're just gonna walk inside the wall.
They are healthy. They can walk.
How far are we from? I thought we're still pretty far away, aren't we?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but best we can tell, the cultists aren't here yet. So
By horse, it would take probably like an hour and some change.
yeah,
Right.
it's
And
gonna take a minute. But we're just in a
There's
tiny.
only-
But
Village.
it sounds like you're trying to tell them to either come along with us to.
I'm telling them to get inside the walls.
Which
So
is where
they're
we're
they're
going.
gathering their
Which
stuff
is
and they're
where we're
starting to walk
going.
toward. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. If we can get other carriages and get other horses, then we can gather a bunch of people and get them together.
We can.
From what it seems like, I think the best idea is to walk along with these people for now. Abandon this carriage. I'm just saying, pushing a carriage is going to take a lot longer than.
No one's
carrying
even
one.
commented on its amazing paint job.
It is an amazing paint job.
You're lying. I made it look like shit. I purposefully painted it so no one would want to try and rob us. Okay. It's painted to look like a broken down piece of shit.
I never win.
Like,
Up
why
until
were you
this
guys
point-
around the carriage? It
alright,
looked like
so-
a POS.
So
no, it
we're
looked even
going.
worse after going through the hell of the bride that it went through.
That's fair.
So we still have all the people in the carriages that can't
Yes.
Thank
really.
you.
Shrike
Some
is
of them
gonna
can't
pick up
move
the grill.
What now?
He's picking up Gabriel, one of the
Oh, okay.
people in
One of the
carriage.
So
people.
we're just gonna start
and-
carrying people and go.
Yep.
Well,
What's
we can
happening
head
now?
to the stable and see if they have some carriages, but honestly, most of the carriages are probably going to be by the wall, which
I
is
think we just
another.
start walking to the wall.
So, Lady's gonna take 3, and then I'm gonna hop on Lady's back.
I'll take Lilith, but remember I'm half movement.
It's okay.
I'm half movement anyways, whether I'm carrying someone or not. So
I wonder if there's any able-bodied people that'd be able to help.
We have all these villagers.
You want to
there
try and
might be-
convince them?
well, we
Yes.
could. We just need to get over to the stable that they pointed us to, and we can at least get some horses and see about carriages. But we're
I mean,
outside the city, so
We
most
have our
I mean-
own carriage though. We can still just
come back with a
Yeah.
horse and
we just come
take
back
it-
with a horse.
2
and then
horses.
just-
Uh,
right.
Just to throw this out there, just because, we have characters that have intelligence scores now,
Wow.
Wow.
you could just have Vi pull the carriage over to the inn and then let the horse do the work from there on if you get a horse.
I like your thinking there, Sprocket. Good idea.
My voice changed for a little bit, but it's back now.
I hit puberty for a
Then-
moment.
Then let's go ahead and do that. Let's try
Yeah.
and find a horse.
Alrighty.
That's my horse. Sorry, Ed had an Eddie moment.
No, no.
Are you gonna start
What was that
singing?
one game?
That's my horse.
That's my horse. Slap.
Reminds
guys-
me of my youth.
So, I'm assuming Vi is gonna drag this carriage over.
Why, yes. A
It
wise
takes a few
choice.
minutes. A wise choice. Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
With a Y pet. It's gone mad!
Is Aurora okay? They never showed up.
Mitchell said that he wasn't going to be able to make it due to
Oh,
reasons. But he far forewarned that he probably wasn't going to be able to make it.
I saw you was
On
gonna be late.
Tuesday. For shame. He feels bad though. It's okay.
But Vi manages slowly but surely pull it over to the place in question. Seems to be actively open, and there does seem to be horses parked in like a stable-like area to the side. It's a pretty large establishment given the area that you guys are in.
Alright, I left all my gold at home.
I'm good at
So,
talking. I
we're
would
not-
like to do the talking with the person in. Do I see a person around the
or we
stable, or
can-
do I need to go inside?
Use your authority.
There's a bunch of people manning the stables.
Sorry.
Very young,
Cute.
young children. I guess I wouldn't
Very
call
young
them children,
children.
but
How many horses can the carriage take?
4.
I've got 4 gold for the first person to give me 4 horses.
Let's
Thank
see.
you.
Persuasion check.
I need to perception
Well,
persuasion.
The question
I want to
is,
see where this is going.
well, the question is like, are you trying to rent these horses, or are you trying to buy these horses?
I just got 4 gold for the first 4 horses hooked up to my carriage.
He did
Mirra.
not specify. um,
If you
Mirra.
say that out loud to the people who are like brushing the horses right now and stuff, they just look at each other and then look back at you with a blank expression, like what?
Mirra,
see, that's
Mirra,
a good.
Mirra.
Yes.
So, all right, I'm gonna do a heavy sigh and just.
Do
Mirra,
we want?
you're up.
Do we want
Let-
to
let's-
buy them?
No,
Well,
let them know the situation.
Oh,
you
so-
have
Talk to them.
Just
We may
just to
not even
throw
need to
that-
pay.
Just throw that out there for Yuelia. A horse
does not
alone,
cost
just
one gold.
one, costs, give or take, depending, 50 gold. Yuelia knows
deal with
this.
people.
I would like
Strike
to
said,
go
"That
up
could be
next to.
$2."
I would like to go up next to Shrike and hold up my badge. Excuse me, Valonan Elite. We have wounded cultists are attacking the docks. We are warning everyone to pack up what they can and get within the city walls. Is it possible for us to either rent or commandeer some horses to get this carriage of wounded inside the walls?
Who are you talking to?
The
Any of the patrons inside?
The
I think?
child.
Child.
So are you talking to the apprentices?
yes, the pretty
Like,
said that was
again,
there.
they look at each other and they're like,
Badge.
well, we'd love to help you, man, but these horses don't belong to the inn. They belong to the people using the inn.
I'm about to murder the
Understood. Thank you very much. Please spread
Take
the
up.
word that
Take up.
cultists.
No, nothing. Don't mind me.
Please spread the word that cultists are attacking the docks, and everyone should start collecting their items and evacuating to inside the city walls.
They both look at each other. They just drop their brushes and start running.
Good lads.
Alright. Well, the close is clear. Take the horse.
We should.
That's
It's
not
too-
Mirra.
we're
No,
we're
you're trying to
wasting
trick
time.
me. You're trying to
We-
trick
No,
me.
Miss
Be
Mirra,
bad.
we're wasting time. We
You
need
t-
to go.
But these
If
don't
there
belong to
are-
us.
If there are guests upstairs sleeping, as they said, those horses did belong to other people. Then.
But they're gonna want their horses back.
There's
And some people can be
people-
talk to
selfish.
them as well to get them out of here.
But that's
You guys
wasting
can-
time.
Obviously, hear people drinking and singing and carrying on in the inn.
Shrike is just gonna yell, if you want your horse, get out here now.
Guy, I'm not gonna take their horses. I'm gonna look around and run. I would like to go to the door of the inn and burst open the door.
Wham!
Try and make it look cool, but it probably doesn't look very cool.
The music stops, and everybody just turns to you slowly.
Slam the door open, and the door slams back on
Yeah,
you.
yeah, pretty much.
Well, actually, one of them falls off, but that's not the point.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Valonan Elite, cultists are attacking the docks. Please start collecting your items and making your way within the walls. And to those who own horses out here, if you could step over here so I could speak to you, please. We have wounded. Please hurry.
Hold on.
We could just say we're commandeering it.
And
Brea normally
right.
is the one that does
Normally
this sort of
fight.
thing.
we are commandeering it.
Brea is normally the one that gets tough. I'm not the tough talker, okay? This is not. I'm not the tough talker. I can talk, but I'm not
Shrike
the tough
is
talker.
going to,
That's Lilith.
Like,
or
Shrike
Brea.
is gonna pull up to his full 8 foot and stand behind Brea or behind Mirra.
Activate your cloak of billowing. That's what it's for!
100% bonus action cloak of billowing.
Yeah.
And is basically gonna be like, look, if you don't want to loan us your horse, I will fight you for it.
I'm tying up the horses already.
That's fine.
Well,
And that's our option here.
I'm just
Fight
waiting to
for
see
it, or
what's
you give us the
happening
horse.
with the people, because I feel like if I say something else, I'm gonna be cut off.
well, there's just this moment of silence.
Before chaos. We have a cart of wounded. We need to get moving now. I need to make a badge. All I have is my pendant. I don't have a
Need
badge.
to make a badge,
I need
she
to-
says.
All I have is my pendant. I can hold up my pendant. Look, it's my new pendant.
We
It's so
are
cute.
farmers.
It's a,
Yuelia, give me a head with this one.
it's a little lantern. So cute.
Walk over and try and.
Basically, you just start hearing everybody in the tavern start laughing.
Guy says he's astral projecting into the game world and helping tap the horses. So everyone's laughing.
Yeah, at what you said initially.
I
That's what they do.
what is that? Why do they-
As soon as you say the
Okay.
cultists start going, they're like, oh, and they continue
Okay.
laughing.
I
So
take
I'm just
out.
gonna-
I have 4 cultist masks. I take out one of the cultist masks.
What is Yuelia doing?
I'm gonna push past Mirra and just put it out there. We're commandeering these horses. We have too many sick, and there are cultists coming. So either
I take out one
you
of the
guys can-
cultist masks. I have proof, bitches.
So you can
Bunch
come
of
with us to
people
safety.
A bunch of people start standing, not laughing anymore. And there's a who's taking whose horses now?
Us.
Shrike is gonna clear his throat, which is hilarious because he doesn't need to. And
That's-
he's gonna say, we are taking your horse. If you have a problem with this, we can discuss this outside so we don't wreck the establishment.
We have wounded from the docks.
We
Everyone
have
needs to
too many
evacuate
wounded. We
the
have-
area inside the walls immediately.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys decide. You can do a persuasion check,
I'm very good at that. I'm very
or
convincing.
you can do an intimidation check.
I'm going
Can
to
I
do-
activate my aura of friendship?
Shrike is 100% intimidating this.
I'm gonna do a persuasion.
What's your aura of friendship?
That's my paladin ability. My aura of friendship is technically called something else.
Shrike will take a 22. to
Emissary of
intimidate.
Peace. I get a +5 to charisma. Persuasion. I'm very
Okay.
convincing because I'm everyone's best friend.
I rolled a 14 on my persuasion.
Shrike back here in the back throws a 22 for intimidating.
the way I'm picturing it is I'm talking and you're just sitting 8 foot tall behind me, like
Pretty much.
listen to the short one or else.
Complete with Darth Vader-esque cloak of billowing
Oh.
going on.
I could just imagine it like this, though. Yuelia, given her size, says a bunch of stuff. They all start kind of giggling, and then you see him Shrike kind of lean in with a loom, and his eyes turn red, and everybody's like, "Okay." What was your ultimate roll for Mirra?
I'm still rolling. Okay.
With the Emissary of Peace bonus.
Yup, so I rolled an 18. Finally! That's perception. Persuasion is +5, and I have another +5. So that's 28.
God damn. So what was Sprocket? Was Sprocket going ahead and
Just kind
let
of
me
the
see.
horses. Just going up with the horses.
No, Sprocket's at this point like mending the carriage, tying up, yes, and preparing it, no matter what's happening in there.
So a lot of people sit down and they're like, wait, are the cultists really coming? And they start talking to each other and stuff.
I'm holding a
And then a
mask!
couple of the more drunk individuals are like, they're not coming. These people are trying to scam us out of our horses, you fucking morons. And then they turn and see Shrike giving them the death glare, and they just stop talking and sit down. The bartender goes, "Lady, Miss Elite, we needs to leave."
Everyone, please gather your things and get inside the walls. They are attacking the docks. We have wounded in the carriage.
He looks around. Is that use guys? And he gestures to a bunch of them. Gives the lady your information so they can compensate you for the horses and get the hell out of my bar. He's basically talking to the bunch that was kind of like trying to start a fight.
Thank you.
Still want to fight.
Everyone else, get out. And everybody starts to stand up and leave.
Aura of friendship. I'm everybody's friend.
You also have a giant behind you.
So
Shh, I don't know
I'm not
that.
going to go through the details of each person's exact name and stuff, but you get their information. Don't you give me that look. You get their information so you can return their horses or make Valona compensate for killing their horses if, you know,
Oh.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
hopefully.
Need it for a ritual, guys. I'm sorry.
But you guys have 4 horses for the carriage now. Easily pull 3,000 plus weight, so...
Great. We'll load up as
I
many
think-
people as we can.
I think, Mr. Bartender, and we're warning people along the way, and yeah, I guess we should probably like take any elderly. We don't need any glue, okay, guy. We don't need glue. We got mending. It's magic glue.
The big group starts to make their way
Oh.
past the tavern and stuff. You see that there's about 5 elderly that some of the families want to let you guys take because they just can't move that quick. You guys should
yes.
still be okay as far as room, but you guys are starting to push clown car mode.
Okay, so here's my suggestion. We
I
have
mean,
4
the
horses.
guys, they're unconscious. We could just stack
So-
them up in the middle.
Why
and-
don't
They
why
won't
don't we
mind.
Stack
listen,
amongst like lumber at the back of the carriage.
why don't we try and get another carriage and just take 2 horses on each carriage?
Do
That
you
way we have
see
more
where
room.
we can get another carriage?
We'll
There
stick
is
people on
another
the roof.
carriage.
People on the roof.
Where?
But- Well, it's by the stables. There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Some of
So
them
I'm
are
just
already
gonna-
being used to help out other people, though.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then I would like to use, because it's activated for.
Yeah, we're just gonna
a
go ahead
bit.
and just.
I'm
we're-
going
we're gonna
to-
assume that that's all
Yeah,
the same thing.
I
Let's
would
just
like
get
to also-
grab it.
I want to be able to use my emissary of peace, okay? I want to use my aura of friendship to make sure that these fine, hard-working folks are helping those in need in this time of crises. Okay?
It is all in the same rule, but go for it.
I gotta roll again?
No, I'm saying, but if you wanna emissary your piece,
Them words I was speaking wasn't emissarian enough?
He's
Well-
saying you're good, but if you want to keep going, that's on you.
if you want to actually go and talk to the other set of people, you can.
But he's saying
Otherwise-
we're already approved for the carriages.
You already have a 28 for your roll. You're good.
So
I'm best
if
friends
we already
with
take it, no
everybody.
one's gonna start arguing with us.
All right. So you guys have 2 carriages. One of them actually is not being manned, so you got the horses. You just need somebody to drive it.
I'm gonna drive it.
Oh, okay. Mirra's like, me. Oh.
You can sit with me and you can help.
Okie doke.
All right. Sprocket's driving one.
You have
Yuelia's driving the other.
yeah. Well, that'd be animal handling anyway. So
Are you good at animal handling?
I have a 2, a +2.
Me
Yay.
too! Yeah,
I have
me
a
too.
+0.
So much in common.
No,
All right. Everybody starts to make their way. So you guys are trying to get into the Valona walls right now.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. I would say a very uneventful hour and 15 minutes passes by.
Good.
Oh,
So
yes.
we're nearing we're nearing midnight here shortly. If you
That's
guys
short rest
have
though, right?
if you have short rest abilities, feel free to
Yeah.
recharge off of them.
Y'all, I got my spells back.
And the sight of if there's nothing else, like you guys don't talk or anything, the sight of the walls are starting to give way to a familiar change in its features, which signifies the gate is nearby.
I think we need to go find a place to long rest.
And then long rest, and then long rest, and then long
I
rest.
only need one, and then I'm sad.
And then long rest.
Oh, okay. I don't get my
We're
spells
not all
back.
Pedi where we're not all
Yeah.
Lilith where we need like 8 to continue on.
Continue on living.
Odd.
I
Keep
don't
going,
get my
Shrike.
spells back for a short rest, right?
Lilith is having an out-of-body experience right now, just staring daggers at
No, it
Shrike.
doesn't look like it.
I don't know. Do
it-
artificers get them on a short rest?
Looks
No.
like we get hit die back.
No. On a short rest, it's the healing like everyone else with the hit die.
I think the only caster that gets them on a short rest is warlocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone else has to do a long rest, which is like
Yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I got my spells back, and it's great.
Oh sweet,
can
I
make
got my
people-
emissary of peace back.
I can make our new steel defender friend bigger.
Oh
Sweet.
god, I forgot you learned it. You learned the one spell.
You
I
gave
knew it
it
was
to
gonna-
me.
I knew, but it thematically it makes sense.
It really does.
I'm
It's gonna
That'd
be
be-
great.
That would be pretty cool.
I can make the gnome bigger.
As you guys are probably 4 minutes away from the gate, give or take, calculations, you see that the front gates are actually being opened up before you even get there.
Good.
You guys are pretty much ahead of the curve as far as people moving, since you guys have the carriages.
It's cool.
When we get
The carriage
close,
looked
I
good.
want to make sure, like, I'm just, when we get within, like, yelling distance, I'm just gonna make sure they know what's going on. Cultists, attack the docks! We have people from outside the walls. Tell them to get in the walls. Yep, I'm so good at talking.
You're yelling this as you guys are getting closer to the gates that are opened?
No, I want to get I want to wait until we're there.
Okay. Because once you guys get to about, I'd say at least 15, in 15 seconds, you'll be rounding the wall and being able to turn inside. Then you see a bunch of cultists start walking out of the gates.
Gosh darn it. Well, should we kick the horses in overdrive and go the other way?
Maximum overdrive.
Yeah.
How many cultists did you say?
It looks just like the mooks, and there's about 7 of them.
I think we can take them out.
But you guys got each other's attention.
Oh boy, they picked the wrong time to fight, bruh.
Alright, so they're coming out of the Valona walls?
It should have been a red flag the moment that the doors just opened up.
Yeah,
I thought they
figured that was
saw. Okay.
No, I
And-
figured that was bad.
And I'm saying that just because Yuelia would probably catch something like that. Wait a second, they don't just open the doors, you have to follow protocol.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going in,
Something's-
guys.
Something's wrong.
Going to war.
What are you doing? You guys are about 4 seconds from being face to face.
Yuelia, are you in mine or their carriage?
I'm in my own carriage. I'm driving the other
Oh,
one.
Yep.
oh, you're
So I
driving the
guess
other
I'm
one?
gonna look
Fighting
over.
each
I'm gonna
other.
look over to you. Yeah, I'm gonna look over to you, and I'm gonna.
Our goal was to get into Valona.
Yeah.
Well, but now
And
we
if
know
they're in our
Valona's.
city. We're gonna take it back.
Should we
This
tell
sounds
every?
sounds like an absolute banger of a day.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
And run him over?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your carriage is full of old people, and you're gonna use it to run over
That's
other
fine.
people.
That's fine.
See-
Shrike is here for it.
Okay.
Eldritch Blast?
Don't worry, lady will take care of them.
Starting off with an Eldritch Blast?
100%.
How original.
Well, one of them just eats it right away, and he just goes down. And they're
I'm
like,
gonna
"Whoa."
have. I'm gonna have Elvinia use her force strike.
And another one goes down. A couple of them start to draw their knives, and another one goes to start. You see, well, singular as what? Who has Arcana? Do you have Arcana
Me.
as? Oh, you both have Arcana
As
I
a language.
I
also-
do.
as a skill.
No, as a.
I have it as
skill.
a.
I
I'm
have it.
proficient.
I don't think
Shrike
that-
has it as well.
How do I check this? I'm sorry.
Boundaries.
Should
Skills.
be in your skills list.
If it has a glowing dot next to it.
Oh yes,
it.
yes.
So you guys recognize that. Again, intelligence. So you guys recognize that the spell tiers are divided up into the amount of magic circles they create. So cantrips are cantrips because they don't have to use the weave to be used. So when you cast the tier 1 spell, it creates a singular magic circle. And then tier 2, there's 2 magic circles in some fashion. Sometimes they're parallel to each other, sometimes they're in front of each other. Just depends on the spell or how people use them or maneuver them. In any case, you see one of the cultists make this spell ring, and I need an Arcana check from both of you.
Alrighty.
Does that include myself?
14.
Yeah, you
Anybody
too.
who is proficient in Arcana can make this check.
I got a 5 plus 5, so 10.
I got a
We
14.
won't. If
You
the
both-
10 isn't good enough, I'm not even gonna bother.
No, 10 is definitely good enough. You both recognize this spell as Magic Missile.
If it comes near me, I'm casting shield.
Nice! Because it's going straight for you, and then it bounces off your shield. I'd say, are you just keeping Eldritch Blasting and,
Yep.
Force... What's the name of the skill the fairy uses?
Force strike.
Force striking? Are you guys just firing them off as they come back up?
Yeah, pretty much. As soon
Alright.
as soon as she's able to, she's just gonna cast it again.
The carriages start moving forward. The fairy and the tree man start mowing people down as they can. One of the casters gets off a magic missile, which is actually blocked. by a really good reaction from our friend Sprocket. He actually more or less protected Mirra, less so himself. Or wait, not Mirra, shoot. Vi. But, as you guys make your way through, you don't manage to kill them all, but you actually manage to kill the majority of them as you guys enter the gates and start going into what feels to be a much more empty town than usual.
Oh, shoot. I guess we have to get to the inner part of Alona.
Yeah.
And that is where we will leave the session for tonight.
Golly.
I told you, I'm not trying to be the asshole DM, but they told you that if you want war, they would give it to you.
Well, so
War.
do we think that Valona's gonna be okay? Do we try and get to the inner wall, or do we
Alona's gonna be okay.
go and head
Given-
to Brea's?
So the first thing we should do is at least see if anyone's putting up a resistance, and then either we can help them or something
What-
along that line.
What do we
It
tell
is
these
the
people
capital
behind
city
us?
of Alona.
What do we tell the people behind us?
Well, you kind of
Right.
you already. I said you kind of tossed that up in the air because you charged into the thing and left a couple of them behind.
Yeah,
But
well,
there's
because
also the
like we
fact
can always
brought
go.
a bunch of the old people with us.
Yeah. Do we tell them to hold
they're,
up
they're still
someplace?
in the carriages.
They're
in the
gonna have a
carriages, so
hell of a
they're-
story to tell their grandkids.
Well,
You
they
guys-
live to tell it.
You guys left about 3 or 4 cultists at the door and charged in. So anybody behind you coming in is going to have to deal with those cultists.
We gotta go back and take care of them.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
But for our more intellectual individuals that have history, Valona has a very, very, proud history of turning the tide, I guess is the word. They've been in much, much deeper holes than whatever's going on here. But the thing that you all can't shake as a group, even Shrike would feel this just because of what he's witnessed with Valona so far. The whole thing with the courtroom, I mean, this whole thing beginning with them jumping over the walls. Like, they're using magic in a space that restricts magic. It's not really anti-magic field, it's just like, if you don't carry a certain badge level, it just doesn't happen. Like, only certain people have access to use magic in Valona. So they're using magic in Valona, they're teleporting inside of Valona, like, there's a whole bunch of nonsense going on.
And teleporting isn't normal in there either, right?
Well,
remember?
Teleporting, period, is a really, really difficult thing to do.
Right.
Doing it inside of Valona is even more absurd. Absurd.
Okay.
My words.
So yeah.
So the question will be from here is, now what?
Well, first off, we gotta go take care of the cultists that you, Shrike, Mr. Blasty Blast, just decided to leave alive for once.
I can't take everyone, Mirra.
Yeah, you can. This-
God, there's only so many meat bags I can make.
Alright, you know what? Shrike is going to war. Shrike is gonna be one man going to war with these.
Fucking cultists.
High level
but-
Eldritch Blast, you fire
but
off
there
like
aren't-
18.
But there aren't any people outside of the carriages, right? All of our people are in the carriages.
yeah, but
You
all the
didn't
other
really-
people that we told to evacuate to the city,
They're gonna be making their way here.
Correct.
Okay, then it's clear what we need to do. We need to clear out the area.
Guy
That's
said
what
he
it
wants
is.
a Shrike action figure. Wasn't that?
God. You know what? I'm on board with that.
Just remember, if you want to make it realistic, he's almost 8 feet tall. Or is he 8 feet tall?
He is 8 feet tall.
Yeah, he's very lanky, but he's very tall. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me again. It's always nice to be able to do my favorite hobby with my favorite people.
Sorry I could not
Stop
join
it.
last week. I did not
I
have
mean,
power.
you had no power.
I admittedly fell asleep last week at like 6 o'clock on the dot.
Had this whole thing planned for my character, and then
Right?
that
I'm
happened.
sorry. I have
Rushed
I
our
had no
souls.
power for like 3 days.
Everyone anticipated Mikey was just gonna finish them all.
That's what I
Nope,
figured.
I actually came to help you guys this time.
I'm so
Aw,
glad.
he switched it up. I was like, how is he
Aw.
going to kill us with a gnome?
I'm not a gnome.
Very surprising ways.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're the
I'm
no.
not
I'm a gnome.
I'm guessing
I'm actually half dwarf, half elfish. Elfish.
Wow, half and
You're a
half,
dwarf
huh?
and an elf. Are you?
yeah.
Does that make you
Well-
a dwelf?
Well,
A dwarf, yeah.
A dwarf?
or
Elf?
El-
Earth?
Orf.
a larf.
You're an earth?
An earf.
Earf.
Earth.
Earf. Anyways, I'm pure-blooded.
There.
I have no blood.
Oh, yes, you do. It's this like dark green substance.
I feel like it should change based on what spirit I have out. Same with my Eldritch Blast coloring. So like because I have fire out right now, which I'll probably change. But like right now it'd be like orange-ish, like fire orange.
That could probably be a thing, but your elemental magic isn't that strong just yet.
No, not yet, but.
But
anyway.
I could definitely get behind that flavor-wise as it builds up, like at 6 and 11.
Flavor, huh?
So I'm all
I
for
wonder.
flavor.
It tastes salty.
No, I was wondering the taste.
No.
Oh, shame on you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now I just had an image of like us putting a like
A straw in the
syrup.
Shrike.
No, like one of
Somebody
those
open
The
one.
spout?
What do you
spouts.
taste
Yeah, one of those spouts.
like
the
the
tree
syrup
one.
taps, the tree taps.
Yeah, you shove it in the
Oh,
Shrike.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm a little pea Shrike, short and stout, tall and stout.
it's just,
It's just
Just
sticking out of
Kool-Aid.
his like leg and
Here's my spigot.
yeah, using it for syrup on pancakes.
Would I have an extensive knowledge of him since I have a high nature check?
Yes. But also Sprocket because he's, well, Sprocket can explain, I suppose.
sorry, I missed that last part. I was listening to the Cthulhu song.
Oh, of course.
What happened?
Sprocket would also have extensive knowledge because he's kind of like a Warforged.
Oh, I'm a Warforged geek.
Oh, okay.
Lady
Well,
is
we
my
got a fan.
interpretation. It's the closest thing I've gotten. She's only Vi because one, I named her because she's the one I had the longest, and she's the 6th attempt at making a character, like
Oh.
making a defender.
Okay. Okay, so that's essentially your creation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Just like your fairy is.
Yeah. Elvinia is mine, using a sapphire stone.
Oh, mine's a bunch of metal.
Alrighty, my friends. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I guess I'll see.
I'm going to bed.
Hopefully, I'll see a bunch of you next Tuesday.
Woo! Yeah.
Alrighty.
Plans.
Say what?
I should be here.
We
Fingers
should all
crossed.
be here.
I mean, stuff happens
Fingers
that happens, but
crossed. So, are they gonna have to do their own little one-shot to get back to us?
maybe. It depends.
They're
Oh,
like
right.
they're a hot minute back there, aren't they? If you do a
Yeah,
one
we
shot, can you make it so they find my torch? That'd be great.
Sure.
They randomly have a torch fall
They're
on them.
gonna have to
Well, it's-
follow.
Right?
It's more like, we know what this is.
Well, it's a random bright torch that's just laying there.
Yeah. Well, who got left behind again?
Aurora
Brea
and Rhea.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
Aurora plays, but Brea doesn't at the moment, right?
Well, the thing is that
February, I think she told me.
Oof.
if this wasn't like, it works out, so I'm okay with it. But if that wasn't the case and they were actually playing, it would really have sucked to leave them behind, just being like, well, shit.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of you having that cutaway from our thing to have them do their thing.
But it get like, again, this is what I mean. It's like,
Rescue mission one shot.
I just try my best to balance realism and fantasy, and
Mhm.
I feel like these kind of scenarios, when they happen, just adds a little bit of that, oh, well, this is an interesting twist.
Right, and that's fine. Well, the problem is you just don't have that other person for Rhea's sake in this scenario to really try and get that back together, to get them back together.
Nothing NPCs can't solve.
Right, and that's kind of what that's gonna do.
But in any case, my friends, have a good night.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Good night. Bye,
Bye.
Jenny.